and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. Why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's right.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Bang, 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 bang. We're back. Monday, August 10th, MCG Live. Welcome, everybody. Josh, how's the weekend? How we doing? What's going on, brother?
Good. I actually was super busy this weekend. Didn't pay attention to the markets really, honestly, at all. I was paintballing and having fun, and a buddy of mine's having a kid, so a little Korean barbecue. I also posted a massive lobster.
I saw the lobster.
That thing was like...
I saw the MCG t-shirt too. I saw the MCG t-shirt.
Yeah, you gotta come through, with your own swag. Clean tea is good. It's good. Right out of the package, ready to go, So
yeah, same here. Honestly, wasn't too active this weekend. Had a ton of stuff going on IRL. And yeah, just didn't really get a chance to pay attention to markets, but the Discord has been freaking active, boy. So ready to just jump right back into it, get back to it and like I never left. You know what I mean? So excited to jump into things here. I think we got a couple like key narratives. So I'm just gonna take you guys through the thought process, going back to it, getting back into markets, kind of looking at markets with fresh eyes. Like, all right, what are we bidding? Like, what's the narratives? What do we need to pay attention to? And you kind of see the title, right? RWA memes heating up, next leg soon. So here's the full-on thesis, and this is going to kind of lead into what Josh has in mind to talk to you guys about as well. But with for me, the overall thesis is this: markets are in a very primed position. We are currently pre-bull. We are pre-bull market, right? Like, if you guys haven't been paying attention, if you've missed trades, or if you just been kind of lackluster, not really doing much, like like tell your families that you're gonna be away for a while. Tell your friends you're not doing anything for a while. Like, this is the time where we all collectively lock in. And as the stockbroker guys would say, clock in. You feel me? So this is the time. And yeah, we do have stockbrokers on today as well. So excited for that interview coming up in 8 minutes. But yeah, that's the thing here. So this is the time to pay attention. We're pre-bull market. Let me just give you a few high level points to help us to understand that. First, let's just look at the Bitcoin chart. To be honest, not a lot of things like happening on the macro Bitcoin side. So there's really not too much to cover here. But I'll still show you guys. The chart. So here's a Bitcoin chart. Obviously, the same crude drawing has been there for quite some time. We're still waiting on the sub 60K level. Not sure if we actually get it. But if we do, it should be coming up here, pretty soon. We also have the if you guys have been following, Killa XBT, he's also been covering this pivot that happens at the 14th of every month. It's actually played out for quite a bit, for months on months. It's played out on the charts. And so I think over the last 10 months, I think it's we're like 8 out of 10, I believe. So we're looking out for this pivot on the 14th that could take us to that sub 60K level, or we could end up just running the lows, right? We could end up just going to to 60K itself, or maybe a liquidity sweep at some point. But still looking for some downside, still waiting for some downside on Ethereum. I mean, not on Ethereum, on Bitcoin. But here's what we should be kind of watching here. And I'll show you one chart that, I'll show you two charts that actually put things into perspective for me. And here is the first chart, because you guys see it. RWA memes. I think no matter what is happening with price action, by the way, on the Bitcoin side, as you guys can see, I'm more so prioritizing time rather than price action. I think we're getting to this point where crypto just feels much better than it did 6 months ago. Heck, much better than it felt 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, right? So something to be aware of. But as we get closer to the end of August, I'm actually looking for price to reverse. No matter if it's like sub 60K or what, I'm still obviously going to pay attention to the signs on the chart. But my bias is leaning towards being bullish as we go into, as we go into September, October, and the rest of the year. Whereas most people, they're looking for Bitcoin to nuke. They're looking for Bitcoin to go sub 50K. Some people are looking for 44K, right? Classic bottom of the bear market, and people want to get greedy at the bottom by asking for even more lower prices. But here's a chart that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what's happening with the RWA meme sector. Now, this is the first RWA meme to ever exist. AI paired with NVIDIA stock. So when you think about the RWA meme sector, it's probably the most bullish onboarding tool for retail. We're talking normie retail, the same people that came in and were buying Doge and NFT rocks in 2021, or they were buying, play to earn or metaverse tokens or what have you. The same people that are coming to that came to buy that in 2021, they'll come to buy RWA memes in honestly 2026, 2027. I think 2027 really is going to be the major run. And if you're not positioned now, if you're not in a position that you'd like to be, maybe you feel like you're behind, maybe you feel like you haven't been trading well, or what have you. Like literally, this is 2023. This is 2023. You guys remember 2024? In Q1, that was AI season on ETH mainnet. Ton of opportunities there, ton of micro caps and low caps to trade. You guys remember 2024 Q4 AI season on Solana, right? Like there was so many opportunities there. So literally just keep clicking, just stay locked into the market. Don't compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's your journey. Own that. And as long as you continue to put one foot in front of the other, you learn from your other trades. You'll eventually, hit that big breakout moment for your portfolio. So don't give up. Don't give up.
I feel like I definitely fall into that camp. So yeah, shout out to Chill. This was originally called what, 180K AI was called. In
We picked up the Discord. I first posted long.xyz maybe 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I believe. But it was very, very early. I think around back here, July 18th. Because a couple of the Discord guys, and I'll show you guys this, a couple of the Discord guys called it out on the 15th. When it was at 200K, 250, but it went back below 100K. Some people just blasted that. And I was like, no, like I'm going to wait. It then ripped. And on this pullback here, that's when I got in like 250K. I was like, okay, all right. I'm a believer now.
Did you trade that initial move out and then re-enter on this dip? How did you play this?
Yeah, so I originally traded this initial move. Honestly, got out a lot here at 5.5.
Wow.
A little bit more than I should, but I mean it was a solid trade coming all the way from 200K, and then it legged up, and I was like, it's gonna be a slower kind of narrative to form. So I just kind of like waited, played some other stuff. And then as it started to come down to these levels, DCAing around 3 mil, then heavily a lot here at 2 mil. And then I called this bottom on Twitter, and I'm actually going to put out a post today just to remind the timeline of the freaking generational run that MCG's been on. But
I mean, like all you need to do is catch one or two of these big trades at MCG, but I'll just flip because on Friday I was looking at this and I had gotten in at 2 mil as well. I believe this was called out on Thursday or Friday. You had made a call on that post, and I was like, all right, I need to not miss this because I do think these stock pair tokens are going to be big. It ended up ripping up. I think a lot of this move was also based on Rasmer putting out that thesis as well on Stonk on Solana. And so, yeah, I just said, hey, look, guys, this is holding up well. Robinhood makes sense after CashCat to list something like this as it drives against their core KPIs, AUM and volume against their equity, on-chain equity KPI, which then all of a sudden I'm looking at it on Sunday night and I see this posted right here, guys. And so I'm just going to play this clip here as this is the head of Robinhood.
What I said. So many things happening.
wait, repeat that. This is the head of
Robinhood Crypto.
Got it.
I believe. Yeah.
So many things happening. I think overall I love some of the cross between meme and real world asset and other things. Like for example, we see a ton of spot volume on meme pairs against real world asset, which I think is super interesting.
So there you go. They are paying attention. It seems 120p. I don't know if that's 120% or I'm streaming in 120p, but either way. So yeah, I thought this was really, at least that they're paying attention here. Johan Kerbert is the SVP and GM of International Crypto Robinhood. So tweets are his own. So long story short, it looks like this thesis is getting picked up. And back over to Chill's chart. I mean, Chill, you had mentioned last week that potentially this is going to all-time highs again.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, I mean, actually, let me see 1 second here. There we go. Am I coming through okay now?
Yeah, you're good. He was making fun
It's
of my
it said my
videos in 120p, but that's all right. It's actually 618. Thank you, X, though, you know. Long story short, I think this trade could end up being pretty significant. So from 2 mil now back to 6 it hit. I think this is looking good. I mean, I like this on dips for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I've always said that this is going straight back to all-time highs, you know what I mean? I mean, it's one of those, conviction thesis that you have to have, early on. You just have to see the vision and you just have to go with it. Just like, you had to kind of like see the vision with the early Robinhood trade that we got in July. You kind of have to see the early vision and realize that the market now actually has legs, bro. The market has room to run. Like the market is cool and has a tailwind. Because I was talking to Breakbones. I don't know if you guys remember his interview from months ago. Been trying out some new strategies, using this on-chain prop firm to like try out some strategies on Solana, get some reps in. But what happened with what's happening now is we used to buy bottoms and the bottoms just fall through, but now we have the bid. Now we have the bottom bid, right? Like you can actually like believe in stuff again. So when I'm buying AI at the bottom, I'm buying with full confidence, knowing that, look at that the vault is up 115%, that AI is both getting locked and burned, and it's driving volume for RWA assets and stocks and on-chain stocks. And I know that's
share of Robinhood crypto chain stock pair volume. 50% of all volumes is driven through AI. This meme, like, what? That's crazy. You know what? This is something I didn't assume. I didn't see this coming. This is a totally new primitive. Like Hundo P gives you the best of meme coin speculation with hitting kind of their KPI. So nonetheless, we do have Simple Farmer, our guy Simple Farmer, to do the run back episode. I think he came on MCG first back. What was it? Stockbroker at 8 mil, I believe. I don't know if you want to tee that up.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Let me pull up the chart, the stockbrokers chart real quick.
This is so Top Fumble. This is my thesis. Either it gets listed, they just listen. Hopefully they really dial in their listing process, so there's no front running of these. But yes, that would be good. Could you explain what is AI for those that don't know? Very simple. It's on long.xyz. Again, we had them on the show when they first launched this long time ago.
Yeah,
I'll share the screen here. This is the page on long XYZ, and it basically is building out a basket or community vault of assets. And you can see all the assets listed here. So it's not just NVIDIA. There's actually Microsoft, Taiwan, TSM, etc. Now this is paired against anchor to the NVIDIA stock. So rather than what we would see as AI paired with Sol or AI paired with ETH, now it's AI paired with NVIDIA stock. So you do kind of have this a little bit of a floor. Now NVIDIA can go up. It's down 2% today. So if Sol's down 2%, you typically get the same kind of exposure. But the idea is that, hey, maybe there's NVIDIA based catalysts that send NVIDIA higher, or AI continues to trade, or the news drives catalyst for just the meme. So that's kind of
the other thing is, stock market, they're not going down minus 80% every cycle. You know what I mean? Like normal altcoins, like you'd see with ETH, like you'd see with Bitcoin, like you'd see with Solana. They're not going down, minus 70, 80%. Stocks, maybe they go down like, minus 15, 20, maybe 30% at most. At some point they kick on the circuit breakers, you know what I mean? So I like the fact that it's paired with stock, because not only is it driving on-chain volumes for stocks, for tokenized stocks, but it's also you're mitigating that downside with the TradFi exposure. And it just makes for good memetics, to be honest. AI
Yeah.
paired with NVIDIA, it's just good memetics, And then plus you got the Inu in there. Obviously every good meme has to be, somewhat of an Inu at some point. But
so we
let's
gotta
go ahead and
let's
go ahead and tee up.
Really quick, I just need to do our sponsor shout out. So guys, go explore MetaDAO tokens. They're the best ownership tokens out there. MetaDAO.fi and Futar.io. They've raised $45 million in their platform and have had probably commits of up to $1 billion on the platform, which is pretty incredible. Go own the IP, get real exposure to the business, the revenues, etc., through the Futarki decision markets. Some of the best performing tokens are actually on MetaDAO. Go compare MetaDAO tokens to other tokens over similar periods of time, and the MetaDAO tokens have often outperformed. So we're really thankful to MetaDAO, but they have a really great platform and product. So go consider trading on MetaDAO. All right, Chill, go ahead.
So we're going to get Simple Farmer's mic going. I don't think he can hear me. So we're just gonna have him.
Yeah, maybe
out.
Chill. Sometimes that might be a you problem too. Do you want to just hop out and
I'll hop
reset?
out and hop back in, and you can tee it up in the meantime.
All right, sounds good. All right, we're gonna get Chill back up here. Thanks, Stockbroker, for your patience here, buddy. Or Simple Farmer. We'll get Chill teed back up here, and I'm also going to do a quick shout out to our other sponsor. We're going to do a double sponsor here. DLM with Meteora. So meteora.ag-ref-mcg. Again, both these entities do support us continuing this work, continuing this coverage. Let me pull up Stockbroker real quick because this trade has been incredible. Let's see. All right, my guy's back.
All right, Simple Farmer, you can let me know if you hear me now. You should be able to hear.
You know what I love, Chill, is when you load a chart and the candles are off the screen. That is exactly what's happening here, guys. So I'm going to bring this up on stage. So for those that weren't here on the original episode with Stockbroker, this was an episode we did back here. Was it July? Let me check.
It was late July, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Late. I want to say it was around 8 mil. Down around here, around 8 mil is when MCG first had Stockbroker on. And again, guys, I love charts where the candles are off the screen. I'm going to go ahead and just adjust this. So it ran from 8 to, an FDV 79, 50 million. Really cool mechanism. A lot of big people are getting in on these NFTs. And so, yeah, really, really sick to have Simple Farmer back for a quick update of what is going on, because Simple Farmer, you're like the most popular guy in crypto right now.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, definitely not my intent. Hopefully, what's important is that it's popular to be bullish on good technology in crypto right now.
The team must be buzzing right now, man. I mean, you guys have been absolutely on fire ever since you guys launched. Honestly, ever since you guys came on MCG, it's been been a wild ride for you guys. And the thing that for me I'm really impressed by is I feel like this is a new primitive. I wasn't here on the last episode, and so we're gonna get you to do like a TLDR for for all those in the audience that may not be familiar with stockbrokers. But am I right in saying that it's a new primitive?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely, I mean, the way that we've put the pieces and the smart contracts together is done in a way that hasn't been done before, especially paired with all of the different asset classes we have possibilities to work with on Robinhood Chain. But I think one of the huge game changers is the way that we're looking at special projects launches, and these launches that are coming in that are like unicorn technologies, and then pairing them with the stockbroker token early, really giving both NFT holders and token holders a lot of upside in a long-term scalable process.
Very nice. Very nice. So talk to us a little bit about what you're building at Stockbroker, and then we'll kind of get into the updates and everything that you've been doing since your last episode. But give us the full kind of TLDR.
Yeah, so we have our full product suite, which is based around this token stockbroker that can be moved into the NFT asset. Users enter the NFT asset and activate it by burning stockbroker tokens. There's a fee basis for getting between token and NFT. That's phase one of our AMM revenue source. That revenue is shared with holders for actually marketing the product and the products that come through the stockbroker's eco. So that works like a little bit like Kaido, how Kaido airdrops you rewards for marketing. And then now we're getting into a lot of special projects launches. And so these are partner projects that want to use stockbrokers as a distribution channel. And we require them to essentially pair their token by LP, at least 50% of it. And then also use our safety deposit box, which is just a liquidity locker that gives an 80% split to them on LP fees and a 20% fee split back to that marketing rewards pool. So we see that as like a really great long-term infrastructure scaling solution. And then we're hoping that a lot of these teams that are special projects partners work together too to continue to develop the technology. And then as we do better, we get better access to things like centralized exchange listings, et cetera, better connections, better distribution. And that's forwarded to our network, essentially creating that scaling effect.
Wow, that's insane. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's this really nice post by Xerox Sammy, and I just want to confirm this is associated with your project. He's mentioning Ticker Yard and stockbrokers turns NFTs into stock owning wallets. Does that sound correct?
Ticker Yard is a special project, and they're doing something, I would say it's the most similar to what Unit was doing on Hyperliquid.
Okay.
Making assets move between chains. They also have a bridge aggregator. And then, if they can get regulatory done, they want to be able to make you be able to, be on ETH mainnet or an Arbitrum One and buy Robinhood Chain stock as like a wrapped derivative.
Okay. Is that associated with your project?
Well, so special projects are independent teams that have to meet these requirements, right, of being unique. I kind of audit their tokenomics. I make sure their tokenomics are sound, that they don't, set up potentially extraction engines. I make sure that they essentially are creating tokens that are good for them to be able to scale long term, but also good for the stockbrokers in that a piece of their revenue and a piece of their LP fees, which again have to be locked by liquidity forever, flow back to the stockbrokers.
So these are projects that are building with stockbrokers. Oh, we also had the derp guy on, and all his thing, the whole stream, all we heard was derp, 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 derp in the background. It was actually pretty funny. Sorry, can you just explain what some of these? So you did Ticker Yard, but can you explain maybe what Mancer and derp do?
Yeah, derp creates VRNG from mining. It's a decentralized entropy from random proofs, and that's a great, obviously, piece of infrastructure for all of our teams that want to come through and need VRNG as part of their protocol. And then Mancer is actually looking to be a top DeFi and swap aggregator on Robinhood Chain, including the ability to create limit orders and DCA. And so that's very much like the Jupiter model. And I'm just drawing comparisons because of, this is the best way to explain it in shorter terms. The key point is that all of these infrastructure layers are paired together by liquidity. And so they're, one doing well benefits the other, and then they're also incentivized to work together to build out their product suites.
Okay. And I'm just trying to understand, because these are new developments since you were on our first show. And so I'm just trying to break all these down. Can you just talk to this? Stockbrokers turns NFTs into stock owning wallets. Can you just explain this real quick?
So the stock NFTs have what are called token bound accounts. And so these are wallets that are controlled by the person who's holding the NFT. The rewards for marketing flow to these. So essentially, once you activate a stockbroker, you have to go and certify your location, of course, for regulatory purposes. And then you can choose to receive either ETH, you can receive stockbroker token. If you're in regions where it's legal, your rewards are swapped for stock tokens. And that's done by the community via this clock in button. So it's actually a community initiated airdrop.
Got it. Okay. Chill. I don't know if you had some follow-on questions there. I just wanted to ask about some of these ecosystem projects.
Yeah, I guess so. Like the stockbroker eco is, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because, again, it's a new market primitive. It's something that it's a little bit harder to understand. So I'm really trying to get a sense of the token's role in the ecosystem. So you're kind of you're at least at first you had to mint an NFT, or now I guess buy an NFT. Would that give you access to the tokens themselves? Because I'm just kind of trying to get a picture of the barrier to entry to get the token, because I feel like this is just such a scalable solution that you guys are pushing out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much in crypto, like, with meme coins and things like that. It's always like next runner up meta, right? And then we're sitting here looking for exit liquidity either from other people in the trenches or from centralized exchange listings. It's like, oh, you're going to get listed and then I'm going to sell the top. This is changing that thought process, right? It's like, we're going to push good unicorn technologies to the top. And then when those get listed, we stop looking at normies as exit liquidity, and hopefully the normies have upside too in their investments because
Right.
they're based in like a real business model.
And describe that business model a little bit for us.
Yeah, I mean, all of these protocols have to have like an intelligent business structure that includes like revenue and flow, either to buybacks or depending on what those independent teams want to do in terms of special projects. I mean, DERP, for example, mines that entropy and sells entropy. It sells VRNG, and that actually provides liquidity for the basis of the token as well long term. So the more people are buying entropy, the more the token value increases. So it's very much like an on-chain business.
And entropy,
Got
for
it.
those that don't know, is just random numbers, but you need randomness, verifiable randomness to run a lot of different products. And so Anvil, can you just explain Anvil real quick? Is Anvil something related to stockbrokers?
Yeah, the Anvil AMM is our AMM that
Got
moves between NFT and token NFT, and that fee structure powers a portion of our revenue.
Yeah.
Think about Anvil a little bit like creating a single-sided Uniswap LP position that's also minted as an NFT, and then that LP position essentially is creating rewards based on AMM swaps.
Okay, so you have fees then. So the revenues from stockbroker are kind of like I'm trying to understand the flywheel of how you guys are generating this value. Is trading fees against your token, but also fees against the token to NFT swapping as well. That's correct.
Right. Actually, that's the main source, and that's been significant so far. But I think long term, our phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4 launches are going to supplement that, and then the special projects themselves are locking liquidity in our safety deposit box liquidity lockers, and a 20% basis of all of those token trading fees is also flowing back to that marketing rewards pool.
And are they all paired against the stockbroker token?
At least 50% of their LP, yes.
Okay, for the
Nice.
quote token. Okay. All right, I got it. All right, go
Okay,
ahead, Joel.
so talk to us about like the some of the updates, some of the things that you guys have been working on and excited to push out.
Yeah, and we have a big announcement today. It's very much based around continuing to improve this infrastructure and making sure that we capture revenue from the products that we're deploying. We have the Stonk launcher coming soon. It's a launch pad that's going to have a large portion dictated by VRNG. Essentially, VRNG will dictate token winners so that anybody who launches a token actually has a chance to win in a big way, have their token break the bonding curve and go further. In addition to that, there's like a lot of stuff. There's a lot of special projects coming through, so there's a lot to talk about there. But there's also a lot that we're going to be dropping, and everything in theory should be working really harmoniously and pushing that protocol revenue higher, which brings more value to the NFTs, which in turn, also improves the token. So that's the process, and the token has been being burned at a consistent rate. We're up to about 20% burns. 800 of the 4,444 NFTs are locked in the Anvil AMM forever because users have to burn tokens to activate into getting a portion of marketing rewards.
Got it. And what's your read on the builder side? You just mentioned you have several projects, in the pipeline. I mean, what's your read on like the EVM native developers? Like, are they excited about like
audio, guys? I'm not hearing anything on the other side.
Oh,
chill.
no.
Maybe
I
pop
think-
out and join back in. Oh,
I think he popped out, and I think he might join back in.
Why?
But I wanted to ask him a little bit about like what's his read on developers. You know, as you know,
This
with
started as like an NFT community, and it's totally just really expanded its scope.
you know what, like
Oh,
there's also that community question as well. Like I heard like a lot of the Board 8 Yacht Club guys are really excited about Stockbroker. Can you give us a little bit of a read on the community Simple Farmer? But first, let us know if you can hear me, if you're back.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
yeah,
Yep.
you're good.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I mean,
Yes.
look, a lot of my experience is based in working for ApeCo, which is a subsidiary of Board Ape Yacht Club, running DeFi on Ape Chain,
Wow.
and looking at the ApeCoin token. And so, people know me from that part, so they're familiar with me, and that experience has lended to me being able to be successful. Working with teams, doing BD level work, learning how to communicate with different chains and different protocols, and then trying to synergize those processes.
Do you think that's why the Board 8 Yacht Club guys just kind of felt more comfortable? Because I mean, we haven't seen this much kind of excitement and fervor around an NFT in a long time. So I'm just trying to get a sense of like what do you think that they're more excited about? Were they just kind of more comfortable with you, having that background, in that community, or is it a mixture of kind of being bullish on the concept? What do you think is most exciting to both the Board 8 Yacht Club guys and the community overall?
Yeah, I think there's that level of familiarity. But to be fair, I've seen a lot of people enter who are big CryptoPunks holders. A lot of people who have Pudgy Penguins and other NFT collections. I think they're just NFT people have been waiting for like another NFT run, and they're seeing signals of that happening now, and that's exciting for them. And the way I see this is it's more of a sorry about that. It's more of a DeFi summer NFT super cycle combo.
Hmm. What's the NFT super cycle thesis?
Well, my thesis is that it has to be based in good DeFi because NFTs haven't been able to tap into where the meat of the revenue in the markets is, and that's around AMMs, around token swaps, DeFi, perps, bridges, etc. They've kind of been starved out of liquidity, and so this is bringing that access point. So we're combining the marketing power of NFT communities with the viability and substance of DeFi protocols.
Hmm. Interesting.
You're
Eh,
building a better, was this deck screener or explorer for Robinhood? Can you just maybe talk briefly about this here? Because I agree, the Robinhood Explorer is terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, with Deck Screener and Robinhood Explorer, there's goods and bad parts. I was on a chain really early called Senko that died. The chain is closed down, but they had a great Explorer because you could see like wallet flows where liquidity would be split for wallets. You could see charts. You could see how much LP a token had, all the TXs happening on that chain in one terminal. And it was just a smooth experience. So I want to bring that to Robinhood. And I think that's really important too for our launcher itself to allow people to have this great trading experience on chain.
Got it. And this is what you're developing in-house then?
Yes, and this is in partnership with Robin's. I think Robin Scan is their team. They're providing us the API source data.
Got it. Okay, go ahead, Chill.
And what's your read on the builder side? I mean, there's obviously we have this huge ecosystem that a lot of people are bullish on in Robinhood. We have a lot of new primitives, new technology to play with. People talk about stockbrokers. People talk about Uniswap V4. People talk about gotchas. Like, what's your read on the builder side? Are people actually like excited to build things again? Are like EVM native, like the OGs, like pre-pump, everyone that's been in the industry before that. Do you feel like these folks are starting to get excited again? What's your read?
Yeah, for sure. It's like make white papers great again, right?
Yeah.
The fundamentals of a project and the quality of their token being based around the white paper first, and then their delivery on that white paper is a good era. It's a better era for crypto. And now we have gas that's cheap enough to actually support these DeFi protocols, whereas during DeFi summer, gas made them all unusable essentially. So that's exciting. And yeah, of course, the things that come through stockbrokers, especially special projects, are heavily vetted. Their infrastructure is vetted. We make sure their tokenomics are good. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
Very nice. Very nice. Um, I think I'm good. I think that was
Here, I got a couple. So I
the
did
last
see
one I had.
this. I did see this, and I want to ask, can you just explain this? This is the 5 tiers. Tier 1, 100. This is how many tokens, stockbroker tokens that people need to own.
They have to actually burn those tokens to
Burn
get to
them.
those
Oh,
reward tiers.
wow.
Yeah, and that gives them a
Okay.
larger piece of the marketing share. And anytime a broker is transferred, it's essentially deactivated.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay.
What a flywheel. Um,
And what are they
so
getting 100x on? What are they getting 100x, 125, 160x on?
I don't know whose post that is. I think it's not 100x. It's like 1x multiplier. 3.3x is the multiplier for the highest tier.
Oh, okay, so this is maybe a
Oh, they
mistake
just
on
got
their
it.
end. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh my gosh, 100x returns. That's amazing, Simple Farmer.
No. So walk me through the user experience a little bit. So am I getting this right? You buy an NFT, and you like, how are you getting to the token to then burn? Like that, I'm just trying to get a sense of the path to one's burning and increasing their tiers.
Yeah, the important thing is just like people can go in through like OpenSea secondary marketplaces or buy the
Mhm.
token, and then they go to Anvil AMM and essentially swap tokens for NFT. And then after that, they can choose to activate based on which tier they want. And then that NFT is kind of like a single-sided LP position of the token, if you think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I thought that the token, I thought you couldn't buy the token. Or was that something that was recently activated?
No, I would never put smart contract functions that don't allow a token to be bought or sold. I think that's against core DeFi principles and logical technology infrastructure.
Gotcha. I thought for some reason I thought that you had to get the tokens through the NFTs for some reason. I thought that. Maybe I was just I just because yeah, maybe that was just an error on my part. And maybe I misread something.
Hey, Chill, can you pull up the platform? I see like options here. I think I know what referrals relates to an exchange. Can you open it on your end? I have to turn my VPN on. It'll cut my connection here if I do that. But do you
I
mind?
wonder if I'll
Are you
pull
able
it
to
up.
open it up,
Can
dude?
you send a link in private?
Yeah, here we go. I'll grab it for you. Sorry, Simple Farmer, man. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of just, it was overwhelming on the first stream, and I didn't really grasp the total like scope of what you're building here, but it's pretty substantive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very impressed with this. Yeah, there it is, Chill. If you can open it up,
Yep.
and we can kind of
Pulling
chat
it up
through some
now.
of these elements. When I see options on this page, are you doing options? Like, is this options trading, call, put options?
Yeah, I want to do decentralized American style options and make it to where users can monetize their stock tokens to earn both premiums and LP fees at the same time using V4 hooks.
Oh my goodness.
Josh,
Yeah.
great question here from Crypto Jones. What clicked for you? And I think just like get a read on your summary so far, so that way we can keep the audience up as well.
Look, all right, here we go. Guys, I remember NFT 1.0. I was there. I not claimed, but I bought the early CryptoPunks July 2017. All right. I was there. I know this community, these ecosystems. Forever we wanted the punks to do a token. They would never do one, Larva Labs or whatever. But the ape coin became a really big thing, and those people printed money. It was like, Mando made away with 10 bandos on that one. So it was a big part of the ecosystem. Now, what's interesting here is that you have a combination of all three of these things. And Simple Farmer, you can correct me if I'm wrong after this, but you have this really engaged NFT community where people feel like they have kind of a shared, community and all the benefits of that, right? Like if I have a specific NFT, I'm not likely to sell him because it's part of either my personality, it's my PFP, it's like it's on chain so people know if I sell it or not. Then you have the token itself, which is liquid in trading, and that's kind of setting the economic, like what the value is of this ecosystem. You have a launch pad that's pumping out really interesting new DeFi projects. And now with Uniswap V4 hooks, you can essentially build anything. And one of those potentially is a options protocol, which on-chain options has been a bit of a challenge. And so you're just kind of have this like combination of DeFi primitives with like a launch pad that's putting out DeFi primitives to real users who are incentivized to use these products because they all kind of economically align back to both the token and the NFT community. So I'm going to pause there. Simple Farmer, what would you do to correct my little spiel there?
No, that was really well said.
Okay. I see this says going live Tuesday. Is that tomorrow?
Yes, and there's also a really big announcement today. And speaking of that, I have to go finish up working on that. So
Okay.
can we get a rain check and I can come back for a longer stream? Maybe next week?
Hey, this was good. This is a good continuation on from the first one. And we're going to keep doing a little digging here. And but congrats on your success. We just wanted to check in with you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate your guys' time and I appreciate the platform to speak.
Absolutely. All right. See you.
Thanks, Simple Farmer.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got 15 minutes before our next interview.
Like, what did we miss the first time on this?
I'm also trying to figure that out. And this personally, I'll put the right hand up of accountability here for me. That was not my best interview. Holy smokes, that was not my best interview. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look into it for the next 15. I just want to get an overall view, because at first I had the completely wrong idea. I thought that you needed the NFT to then get the tokens, to then use the tokens to do other things, right? But here I am saying that here, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. So I'd love like to figure out a TLDR on this that can just help simplify it, because there's a lot of different components at work. There's the NFT component, there's the token component, then you're getting rewards with stocks. There's the community aspect where, they're the ones kind of initiating the reward payout with the dividends. And then now you have this DeFi layer and this launch pad on top of that. So I'm really trying to put it all together in a way that I can like start at a high level, just kind of start with a simple TLDR and then dig into the different components. Typically, that's how I try to run these interviews, guys. Chat is you start with just baseline. It's not going to get everything. It's just going to be a one-liner, a TLDR. And then, then you get curious. You look into the different components. And, at some point, you get this full picture. So, yeah, trying to figure out what that is for stockbrokers. Because I see here, DeFi infrastructure and incubator of the future. Okay. Let's actually do this. Let's just go straight into their docs. Bro. Like he said, let's bring back white paper, the white paper days,
Yeah, and I'm also going back to watch our first show. I want to see how much of this has kind of come to fruition too. Because I was there, I was listening to the whole thing, and it didn't click in the way that it was clicking now. So I'm wondering where my disconnect is. I watched this token go from 8 mil to like 50 mil. So,
So,
I mean, what do you think at this point, Chill? I mean, everyone's kind of looking this. I think a lot of people, ourselves included, faded this originally. And
I think just due to
from a chart perspective, like we will do all this due diligence, but from a chart perspective, like how do you feel about it? at this point.
I think it's different. This isn't one that you watch the chart. Like, I think this is there's an angle to this, and that's why I'm like, let's just spend some time, because there's something here that's really, really key that we're missing. And before we even talk about charts or take profit or like a typical like trader approach, before we even talk about that, we have to figure out what is the key. So here's the thing. So there's 4,400 stockbroker NFTs, right? You can buy stockbroker, the token. What it says here, fully minted out NFT collection. You can buy it on OpenSea. You can activate for tier weighted distributions, clock in to distribute stock, or borrow against a broker. So essentially, you buy an NFT, or you buy the required amount of tokens, and then, like he said earlier, you burn those tokens to kind of get weighted distribution. So I'm assuming, and this is a question mark, I'm assuming maybe their volumes kind of power, along with a few other mechanics, power and drive the amount of rewards that are distributed. And the higher amount of tokens that you burn, the higher your piece of that pie would be. Let's look at the next thing here. Stockbrokers launched as NFT collection. Every broker owns a real on-chain wallet that is seeded with tokenized stock at mint. Once activated, can receive stock token reward drops through the stockbrokers program. Created by Clutch Markets, the brokers anchor the stock exchange ecosystem, including the stock launcher token launchpad and the VDEX. Okay.
Here's some of the highlights also from our first call. I'm right there. I'm listening. So I wasn't listening. So NFT plus token paired 1-to-1. AMM fees buy stocks for holders. Okay, we got that. Any member pays 10-cent gas to trigger the stock airdrop to all activated brokers. Super cool. 150K. So this is where we should have maybe plugged in a little bit. 150K distributed in 4 to 5 days. Again, guys, this is back on July 22nd, right?
I mean, I think to be fair to us, like, obviously there's so many different projects and protocols to dig into on Robinhood.
I know, and we've done 600 interviews, guys. Like we've done a lot. So,
and that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, on this, after 600 interviews, like, we kind of have a system that we go by. We kind of have our way of conducting these interviews. And so I don't know. I was just trying to figure out what did I miss. What I miss exactly on that. But in regards to the 150K distributed in 4 to 5 days, there are other protocols that have distributed that amount as well. So we kind of have to also, pat ourselves on the back as well, not be too hard on ourselves as a trader, but as traders. But the mechanic there at 1246, NFT plus token paired 1-to-1, no tax, 10% AMM. Fee buys stocks for holders. Okay, so I think it's, to simplify it, and maybe I'm wrong on this, it's basically an NFT that's also a token that also has a wallet. That wallet contains stocks. The volume between the volume on the buy and sells feed the distributions, the rewards. And then, you have to, like, one person in the community would kind of, they would kind of come out and initiate the distribution of those rewards. Right. And so
and Malik, we did. Look, it's all right here, July 29th, right? Go back and look. Build a DEX to capture, expand and decentralized options, enable users to earn yield by writing on-chain calls and puts, leverage Robinhood's native infrastructure to unlock products that were too expensive to build elsewhere.
So Malik, here's the thing. So I wasn't on the first interview. Josh was on the first interview. Both of us were kind of like still. It's a massive protocol. We're still trying to get our heads around it. And we're both kind of assuming that, like, through this interview, we can kind of wrap our heads. But I don't know. I'm still not call it smooth brained, call it whatever you want to call it. But right now, like, I'm not quite there yet as far as like capturing. There's a big, I can feel it. There's a big piece of this that I'm missing. I think we've gotten it so far. Obviously, we talked about the NFTs. We talked about the volume that drives rewards. We talked about the reward distribution. We talked about the different tiers where you need to burn the tokens in order to get a higher tier, a higher share of those rewards. And I think that's maybe what's driving this price action is no one really wants to sell because you kind of need the tokens in order to get a bigger share. And so, yeah, there's definitely something that we're missing. And we were hoping that through this interview, we can kind of, piece that together. But unfortunately, that did not work out the way we fully intended. But I think that would be the TLDR on stockbrokers is the ability to earn stock rewards. And in that way, it's acting as a DeFi layer. And I guess, there's other protocols that would be built around it to kind of help push that DeFi layer forward. Yeah, look. I read that somewhere, Malik. I read that somewhere, and I thought that was a part of why people were bullish. Why people were bullish because you couldn't. There was a barrier to entry for the token. That was my whole. I've been talking about stockbrokers, not just today, but like every time I've talked about it over the last couple of weeks. That's kind of what that's what I read. That's what I thought was fact about stockbrokers. I mean, look, like we said, we've done 600 interviews. This one was definitely not our component. Each NFT has its own wallet, volumes, for the token, drive rewards. Community activates those rewards for the entire collection of NFT holders. You need to burn those tokens. So, that's the kind of value accrual for the token itself is you need the tokens to get more rewards, right? And burning those tokens takes that all the way out of takes all of that supply off the market. And so on top of people just kind of recognizing this as a DeFi layer in and of itself and a new primitive in and of itself, you actually have like a real utility for the token to access more rewards. So I think the part that for me that's I'm going to personally do more research on is the DeFi layer angle of it all.
I want to know
think that's
about
the
these
part for me.
options because that can be a very lucrative business actually. So, and on-chain options have been kind of not done very well to date. So,
yeah, I mean, look, 600 interviews, not all of them will go perfect. We've done a great job with many of these interviews already.
Yeah.
If you guys normally watch MCG, you would know that. But
that is, hey, it was an 8X. And we often do that pretty much a lot, but also, you never know which ones go 8X when you do them at first. That's the challenge. So,
but at least they're on here to kind of bring it to you. At least we got them on here to bring it to you guys. That's really the point of this all is digging into all of these protocols and seeing what's special about them. Speaking of bringing bringing protocols to you guys that are interesting, we actually have our next interview here coming up with Umbra. So we have the guys from Umbra coming on. They'll talk to us a little bit about some updates that they have. I believe they have a big week coming up. And as you guys know, Umbra is from MetaDAO. MetaDAO is a sponsor of the show. Check out MetaDAO, the launch pad. They've raised, as you can see in the bottom right corner, over $45 million on their platform. And over the course of the last, call it 8 to 10 months, their tokens have actually performed massively well when compared to many others. So great alignment between community and founders, and honestly, great platform both for founders and investors in the space. So go ahead and check out MetaDAO. Also check out their permissionless platform, futard.io. So shout out the Futardios.
Yeah.
With that said,
own the business, own the IP, and I'm going to pull them up, Chill. I got it.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna start with Crew and Abbas. Hey guys, how you doing?
Welcome, guys.
Hey guys, am I audible? Just checking in. How's it going?
Good,
Hello.
good.
Good to see you guys. Glad that we were able to get you back on stream. I mean, we've had you, Crew. We've had you on before. I'm not sure if I was on, if Abbas came on before. I don't think I was on that stream. But Crew, we had you back on. I mean, man, this was a while ago. How long ago?
The ICO.
What was the first time?
Back then? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the ICO. It was, I think, October 8th or 9th or something like
That's
it that we
right.
had it.
That's right.
Man, it's been almost a year, 3 quarters, and here we are again.
So talk to us about the journey a little bit. You launched on MetaDAO. You raised, everything was successful. I've even seen some traders in my own personal circle kind of really come out and express their conviction in what you're building there at Umbra. Tell us about the journey, and what you guys have been doing over the last, since October, over the last, call it, 9-10 months.
Yeah, so I would class this as the first phase of a young startup, which is you go out there, you build fast, you fail fast, you pick a few winners, and that's what we've been doing since the last 6.5 months now. We built out an amazing web app, a mobile app, couple of mobile apps. We had some experiments which have been going great, which is the Umbra payroll, which does private payrolls for everyone. And we've learned from whatever experiments that we've done. We've expanded our team to a good set of 10 people now. I'm glad that Abbas has joined us as well. And now we are in a phase of just dropping off all the baggage that we have, all the products that didn't work out for us for now. So it's in the deletion phase now. And once all of it is done, we start growing up again. So
your initial thesis was incognito for your wallet, which was this privacy wallet. You're talking about kind of these other experiments that are using your technology for. Can you just explain kind of how that initial vision has evolved into what you guys are focusing on from a product standpoint now?
Yeah. So as we were building on this thesis, right, which is the incognito mode for your money, we realized that there is more of the same in the privacy space, right? It's either you're a separate network, you're a separate protocol on any chain. But the core idea is that people were just using privacy in transition, like while a transaction is going on. And it sort of gave them pseudonymous, anonymity. It wasn't complete privacy. By the time transaction is done, you are again public to the world, right? And we wanted to move on from there. We wanted to create a place where you're private even when you're not transacting. So this is the difference that we are trying to achieve right now. Sure, the experiments were great. Like the web app is amazing. The mobile app is amazing on your, you have a private wallet on your iPhones that is fast, does transactions in the same time as any chain, right? And now here we are trying to create this environment where you just feel completely private, completely safe, even when you're not trading. So
can I, if you're not a Umbra user today, and let's say you just use Phantom or MetaMask or one of these other wallets, or a trading terminal, can you just walk through what that user should do, how they get onto Umbra, and what, do they transfer their funds? Do they import their private key and start over? Like, what is the path for a new user to join Umbra?
So Umbra is, as of now, it's as similar as any wallet or any web app that you use. All you have to do is create an account, deposit your money. The only different thing that you do here is the act of shielding, which is you trying to shield all the tokens or stocks that you have. Um, Once you shield them, it's completely private from the world. You can swap it, you can transfer it, you can pay for things using it. So this is what is separate about Umbra. Now the other thing is, if you're using the Umbra web app, you don't even have to create an account for yourself. You can use your Phantom wallet completely. But while this happens, all of their salaries go public. Like anyone can check what they're earning, what your colleague is earning. Um, and you also reveal your treasury addresses. So if there are moves being made in the treasury, you have certain strategies that you are trying to, uh, to go ahead with. Everything is just revealed. Everything's just public. Um, so what payroll does is it completely hides your salary. It's such a huge benefit for teams who are paying salaries online, that people opt for this little service that we have. Um, so yeah, Abbas, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I
Quick,
mean, sorry, go ahead.
actually, go ahead, Abbas. Go ahead and add first.
I mean, I think Aku covered most part, but generally, I think, like I said, we quickly learned with payroll, especially as one of our applications that took off. We wanted to be in spots where people are, and it's just easy and default to like accept or expect privacy. If you like try and force down privacy in someone's average day-to-day use cases, like, hey, you got to go to the separate platform, move your capital through this platform, and then you have privacy for your assets. It's not really exciting and useful for most regular participants. So payroll was just one opportunity and one shot at that. We'll do a lot more of these integrations as well, and potentially build out more similar products once we find PMF for the strong core product. But that's a discussion for sometime else.
Got it. Got it. One thing that I wanted to kind of talk about was, traction since launch. So you guys have been experimenting, launching these different products. What's been the reception like, volumes through the platform, or even the
Mhm.
amount of users?
Yeah, I mean, we, I, I mean, it's been almost what, like 3 quarters, I'd said, but we barely launched 4 months ago. We went live like 4 months ago, right? So it has been like an upward, graph from there. Of course, the traction was insane in the first couple of months, just because we had like a sort of a bounty program running, so it went like through the roof. But eventually, we got to know, what's the average amount of people using it. So in July, we had about 1,000 users using the Umbra mobile app, and even more on the web app. Our TVL went from zero. At its peak, it went to, I think, 600K. With all the price action that's been happening these days, of course it's bound to go down a little. But I'm really happy with where we are as a team right now and as a product. Uh, it's time for a refresh. Time for building something much bigger than what we initially started with, and that's what we're looking at right now.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about. I wanted to ask you another question, but you said something interesting. You're more excited about what you're building right now. Like, what's the difference between what Umbra was versus what you're shaping it into now?
Yeah, you know what? Abbas would have a great answer to it, but I'm just gonna, reiterate. I think I said this in the start as well, right? Um, it went from being an incognito mode for your money. Um, all we cared about is money in transition, going from one wallet to the other. But what happens when the wallet is at rest? Are you still private? Can somebody still trace you? This is the question that we had in our minds. Now, how do you do that? We had, a great infrastructure, a great team that we were building on, Archeum. But in order for us to, just scale our ambition and achieve this goal that we had, we just learned that uh, we need to own the stack. Of course, we can't own Solana, but anything apart from that, we had to own it so that we're in control of it. And the whole idea was to build privacy at rest, um, sort of like your bank accounts, where nobody knows what's happening when the money is at rest. Nobody even knows when you're spending it. It's between you and the bank. So this is what's happening with the new phase of Umbra. It's a safe haven for you. Abbas, do you want to add to this?
Oh, yeah, I mean, again, Cruz touched most parts of it, but on the broad-based vision we had was we wanted to build like the first of its kind private sovereign money system. If you think about it truly, that has never actually been true private property rights. I recently had a talk about this as well. We've had versions of it. You had like physical bricks, or like something you could store away in your house. You could have stable coins. You could have Sol, ETH, BTC, whatever version of store of value you prefer, or Zcash, for that matter. But it's not actually private. And even with Zcash, you are forced to hold one particular asset on an alternate chain in an isolated environment. Compromises with speed, cost, and all of those things. What if you just wanted to hold your preferred choice of asset? Ensure that it is truly private and you had complete property rights and ownership of it. And what that means is you would need to be able to own this asset safely, securely, in the most accessible format anywhere. And crypto does that for you. Hopefully, Umbra can do the private part of it. So it makes it a true private property. That's the ultimate vision and goal that we had. And to bring that to life, you had to put it into a design box that is much more usable. We had prior constraints with our infra over the last few months that weren't exactly easy to build around. There was complex UX around it. For example, you had to understand what a claim process was or what a vault was. It's not exactly the most easy to understand UI for maybe at least like a non-crypto person. We were better than most other crypto privacy products, but we wanted to get better than that, right? So this is where owning the stack comes in handy, and we're able to get to that point. So you'll be able to see for tangible purposes much faster speeds on your privacy, a lot more simpler UX and cleaner UX for you as a user. We've also highlighted some benefits for you as a builder. So it's just much better and simpler integration. So if someone wants to go ahead and build a private shielding environment for their neobank product and shield any asset, go shield gold, shield stocks, shield fossils for all that we care. And then you could do that, right? And you could share anonymity across pools. Previously, I don't know if anyone has used them, but if you have, you would notice that anytime you transfer Sol, your anonymity is bound by Sol anonymity, right? So someone else has to transfer Sol after you for it to be anonymous. But what if you transfer Sol and someone's swapping Ansem token in the pool, and that generates enough anonymity for Sol itself? So the whole pool shares anonymity. It makes things much faster for you, much more usable. So we can capture all of that upside for the end user. So that's broadly, I think, what will change for people once they see what V2 does. And there's a lot more we haven't shared yet.
Got it. Got it. And I wanted to ask an integration question. I know at first, one of the bigger things was kind of going after different products, whether it be trading terminals, wallets, what have you. But now you've kind of shifted, you've made your own infrastructure. Like you mentioned, you kind of own the stack. Are you still looking to, integrate one by one other products into have them integrate Umbra, or are you now just kind of pursuing everything on your own? How has that changed for you?
I think that's still on table, by the way. What we did in the last 6 months was build things ourselves, and we also, had a couple of teams build on Umbra too. We also ran a sidetrack on the Coliseum, the latest Coliseum hackathon, which had above 200 entries, 200 people building on it. The idea was great. It's just that it wasn't scalable and it wasn't as easy to use. What we're building is, of course, we follow the same strategy, which is build for ourselves first and then allow people to build on us. It's going to stay the same. But that comes a little later from, once we launch.
Can I ask about that? I mean, the initial thesis was building on top of Archeum. And I think if I understand the strategy at that point, was building products on top of Archeum. Can you just explain the difference again? I know, like, or what happened to the Archeum relationship? Is it more so that you guys thought you could build it better than what they were building? Like, what was the major shift in strategy going from building on their infrastructure to creating it completely from scratch your own?
Yeah. I think it's a question about outgrowing the setup. What are the give and takes, right? Like there is some dependency on someone, like an entire different team, to deliver the right product for you, the right network for you to ship. On our end, we still have our responsibilities, which is making the right product, making sure that the network behind us, which is Archeum, stays up. Um, we've shipped a great product on it. Like, it's an amazing network. Whatever they are doing is absolutely right. But the scale of problems that we are trying to solve for right now has outgrown that setup. Um, and that's the only reason why that we are moving from this.
Okay,
There's
Crypto
also,
Joan. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I just want to add, there's also like supply constraints, right? What we realized was over the last few months, we had plenty of usage and demand for our products that was hard to fulfill. There was a lot of flexibility requirements from customers and integrations, a lot of reliability requirements and performance requirements that if we have no control over, it's hard for us to promise. So when we have, let's say, a potential integration and a partner says, hey, we'd like a service agreement with you guys, we're like, cool, we'll do that. But there's a whole range of constraints we have no control over, and that's another partner that we have to deal with. And there's supposed to be a separate agreement with them. So to tie all of those together and to be able to reliably offer these solutions to people and companies and institutions, especially, it was important for us to own that piece, which is what we're doing now.
Just to wrap up, a couple more community questions here. I think a lot of more businesses than are paying people with USDC. Any notable crypto companies that you guys have onboarded to that product, or is that a fairly new product for the payroll product? Malik is asking.
Crew, you're on mute.
Crew, sorry, I muted you, Crew, because you were typing.
Yeah, sorry. We have about 13 teams onboarded right now. The payroll app was just an MVP. It was just an experiment, but it gained enough traction for us. And 13 teams paying payroll is huge for a small startup like us. So some great teams. I cannot name them, otherwise we lose the whole mode of privacy.
Sure.
But again, yeah, it's just increasing month after month. By the way, so
some numbers are on this. Like we've shared, I don't want to post that details over here yet. I mean, we'll post them over the next few weeks and months. But we did about like $250,000 worth of deposits in combined in a few months, especially when you're running like a beta. So we've had sufficient traction to display that, and this works. It's life. There's life here.
Very cool. I'll let you guys run the show how you want to run it. We can go to an introduction, or we can go to, there's some questions around the token and the governance of MetaDAO itself, but let me know how you want to.
Maybe we get Josh up first, riff through a little bit here with Josh, and then we can answer some of those at the end. What do you guys think?
Whatever sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Let's do it. Josh, welcome to the show. How you doing?
All right. Great to be here.
Awesome. Josh, do you want to introduce yourself, or maybe Crew or Abbas? Would you like to make the introduction?
You can go.
Abbas will be the... Dude, Josh, you're looking fresh, by the way.
Thank you. I needed to look fresh.
Man,
yes.
So yeah, Josh has been an amazing person that we've met in the last couple of months. Great conversations with him. I'm just going to talk about what we've done with him later in the show. But he's been working in this space since the last 30 years now. A career CEO, knows everything about how to run a company. And it's like inspirational to see for a young team like us to have someone like him, just guide us, advise us on how to build Umbra into a great startup. develop the culture here, teach me how to run the ship, and just grow from here. Abbas, what you want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, Josh will highlight this. I think we put it in the announcement as well. But Josh was ex CEO of Houdini. We got an intro through our investor Thea and team, and they were of the strong opinion that we should absolutely speak to Josh, just get to know him, just get to know of his experience building in privacy in the space, and what that looks like. And because Thea had some ideas about where we're going to go next, so it made sense to have a chat with Josh about this. And once we spoke, we immediately knew what we wanted to do next is get into this massive workshop, which I let Josh talk about himself and the workshop and everything else.
Hope the description was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, I have an unfair competitive advantage, right? Which is that I'm older than everybody else. So I started my first startup in 1998, and that's actually it was 1996. It's 30 years ago. So and I was very, very fortunate to be part really of the marketplace freight train that started in the early 2000s, and was involved in building out a range of different startups. I became ostensibly the go-to guy in Japan for Japanese marketplaces wanting to go global, and that became a core business for a significant period of time. And I was a founding shareholder of Freelancer. We took that from inception, really, from a small, a small early stage startup through to $1 billion IPO in 2013. And I've been involved in crypto for a while, and I got involved in Houdini Swap very early stage, and then we built that out to become the market leader. And then I had this opportunity, this invitation, and this introduction from Thea, who's a VC firm that we both know and that I really rate. And they asked me to speak to Umbra, given my background. I'd left Houdini Swap earlier in the year, but back in January. So I got in touch with the team. We had a couple of conversations, and one of the things that I've always done with the teams that I lead is twice a year we go through a full hot housing exercise. So it's a week-long intensive process where we pull everything apart and challenge everything that we know. And it's done using methodologies that really are used by the world's best tech companies in product definitions, strategy, marketing, the whole piece. So it's a group, interactive, intensive, process. And I'm not a real believer in individual geniuses, but I'm a complete believer in the genius of a team. And one of the things that teams don't do is spend a week away from the screen and actually looking at the big stuff that truly matters. It's so easy to get caught in the kind of thinking of the moment. So we went through. The guys flew to me. So most of the team's based in India and I'm in Thailand. So they flew out to me and we spent a week together, and that was quite an extraordinary, incredible kind of process in terms of unraveling what truly mattered. And they've gone through really significant learning, and it's very difficult to overestimate how valuable that is. Private architecture.
Can I ask a little bit mechanically how this works? So
Yeah.
You guys get together, you're kind of scrutinizing your own business, and then what's the output from that? Is it like a document of here's our next steps, or does that get turned into product roadmap items? What does that kind of end output actually look like for the team?
So in crypto, most of your strategy is product led, especially early stage.
Yeah.
So your business is product led. So a very significant part of the work is pulling apart product and looking at actually, does it solve the problem, and who does it solve it for? Who's the target user? What do they care about? How do we find out? How do we validate that? And then how do we redesign the entire strategy of the business to go and cater for their needs? And really the outputs are, at the end of it, you have a complete roadmap, a full 6-month roadmap. That's everything just literally uploads straight into your sprint structure. So whatever sprint mechanisms that you're operating on, it just auto uploads almost directly into that. There's a bit of tidy up work, but basically we finish one week and the next Monday you're off. And that includes marketing, it includes brand positioning, it includes a whole new potentially, and which is what happened with Umbra. We had a whole new strategic positioning, and that strategic positioning, in my view, is incredible. And part of that is to deliver on it. They needed to own their own infrastructure, and that became absolutely clear. And I think that the way I would describe where Umbra has gone from is that they've turned from a Microsoft laptop where the software is sitting on architecture that's built by somebody else, and they've turned into an Apple, right, where the software and the architecture are owned by the same producer, and the seamlessness of that and the power of it is perfect. And so that's really where the model's going. And that allows for you to then do some things and to position yourself in a completely new way. So you get a vast, but the days are long. It's not a we don't sit around and chat too much. It's very, very intentional, and there's work every single night. And then the whole thing gets adjusted as well. So every single day there's an agenda, but the agenda is changing based on what actually happened in the room in the day before. So you're wanting to actually deliver very significant high impact outcomes. I'm just delighted at what actually came out of the process. And it just reinforced what I think, which is that getting your entire team into a room for a week, there's genius in what comes out of that. And the process, the genius, in the workshop is not from me, it's from the process. There's a process, and that process is designed to elicit that kind of genius that's in the team.
Yeah, and so you obviously have a privacy thesis, and I want to get your privacy thesis, but can you just preempt that with a little bit? Houdini Swap started, you're on Solana, obviously you had a thesis around privacy. You got acquired by Soul Strategies, and then now you're building out this thesis with Umbra. Can you just speak a little bit about that brief Houdini Swap background, and then where you kind of see the thesis going with Umbra?
Well, Houdini Swap is a different beast in that it's really it's an aggregator, and it's a liquidity aggregator. And the cleverness in the system was that we built out a product that was extremely simple to use. It came with limitations. It came with latency limitations. It came with price limitations. It's expensive and it's slow, but it's really simple and it really works. And it's also just transactional. So it's a complete pass-through as a privacy system, but it doesn't solve your real problem, which is that at some point on the other side of the transaction, your assets are back out in the public again, and you've always got to be constantly managing for who can see this. If I move anything, who's going to know? And that is, and as someone who has used a product like that for years, you get it wrong. So it's not a full solution, which gives you a place where you're actually a safe haven. You've got a safe haven for your assets, and you can do anything that you want in that safe haven from that. And so you can move out and in, but ostensibly your assets on deposit are never seen. And that's a very comfortable, safe place to operate from. And you're doing it in an environment where you've always got sovereignty, you've always got control of your assets. And if anything ever happened, if the network ever falls apart, you can still always withdraw. You're never in a situation where you're trapped. So that was really the outcome that came out of the workshop, is how do we create a privacy system with no trade-offs?
Yeah.
And so V2 is built to actually deliver on that outcome.
I love that. That's a great summary of the vision. Now, there's another element with Umbra, which is really cool, is the token structure and ownership model through MetaDAO, who's also sponsored the show. So if you want to find the MetaDAO links, go here. They're at the bottom, metadao.fi and futar.io. So this really caught your eye as well, Josh. Can you just speak to what you see in MetaDAO and the overall ecosystem?
I'm not sponsored by MetaDAO, but
You're not, but we are. So
I know. Well, I'm so happy to plug them, and like I love the structure. So
yeah,
it has enormous credibility, And fundamentally, it means that you can't be robbed. And, one of the things that happened with Houdini is I left Houdini in, early January, and the owner had promised that he would always look after the token holders. And he woke up one morning and didn't do that. And he pulled all the buybacks and sent the tokens to dust. And my holding as well, by the way. And I think everyone in crypto is sick of it. I'm just sick of it. And so from my perspective, not only would I much prefer to invest in MetaDAO, I'd much rather work with projects like them or MetaDAO projects, because they're credible. And you don't ever have to have the issue where you're worrying about what management will do with the treasury or what they'll do to the token, or the income that's being earned. And that's incredibly powerful. And it's what crypto has needed for a very long time, especially at the early stage phase of any startup. And it says a lot about the caliber and the quality of the teams who actually opt to go through a MetaDAO structure. It tells you a lot about their values and their ethics in terms of how they want to operate with token holders, and everything about that I want to be part of. So from my perspective, I'm really happy to plug MetaDAO without being sponsored by them, because I just think it's much, it's sorely needed.
Yeah, no, I was just doing my job there, of course. There's some questions around, what the experience with MetaDAO is, the governance model. I know there was a proposal that was recently shot down. There's also questions around the token utility for the Umbra token. Crew or Josh or Abbas, I don't know which one of you would like to take some of these questions, but I'll throw them out there.
I can do token governance. I think let's start with the recent governance as like a good baseline reference point. I mean, we've discussed about what it means to be a MetaDAO token ownership company, and we often get asked as team members or founders or whatever about it is about how much of control the company has, how much of control we have over the company, and how much of it is owned by the markets and token holders. As the proposal proved, it's a lot of it, and mostly all of it is owned by token holders. We are not allocated any tokens, so it's not owned by us in that sense. We are stewards of the company and the protocol. The governance system is well designed by MetaDAO. It is resistant to manipulation. In many senses, it's hard to try and attack any proposal. That's what exactly happened, by the way, in the last prop. Someone tried to dump, if I'm not wrong, Umbra, bypass and fail and dump fail on the market and proposal and try and rug the treasury. But the markets fought back, the investors fought back, holders fought back. And within a couple hours, actually, the fate of the proposal was decided, and the treasury was largely protected, right? So overall, it was a fascinating thing to witness, because the only other time we had examples of this resistance working was the Ben Hawkins proposal long before ICOs happened. It was used as lower end reference of how someone tried to manipulate the markets to buy a bunch of Meta or 1/3 of the supply, and it did not work. But there was no real-time example with ownership coins. So it was good to see that. Broadly, governance has been pretty on point with us. It has kept us on toes, kept us accountable, made sure that we have leverage against partners, against a lot of other stakeholders that we interact and engage with, has helped us align the team internally pretty well, because the structure just works so good. And just to tie back to what we think the token ends up being, it was pretty important for us, especially after the last proposal, to note that the value of Umbra matters. That means someone could acquire about 500K worth of Umbra, 500K Umbra, which is about 120, 150K approximately, and raise a proposal. So it is critical that it is not so easy for many to acquire Umbra in the last minute leading up to the proposal and then just go raise one immediately, right? Now, there are safeguards MetaDAO is going to install soon with their next updates. But that's one of the examples of what it means to be secured by the token itself. And that's going to lead us to finding ways to secure our network with the token too. Now, we don't know what exactly that ends up looking like. There's plenty of ideas we've discussed, and what that format ends up being is entirely dependent on how we think the tangible value or the best way to, or the most productive way to use the token will be. So we're actually exploring these options. Nothing's decided yet, but definitely something's going to happen. don't know if Guru has different thoughts.
And if you don't, there's a really great question here because Crypto Jones asks, no launch is ever perfect. What do you wish you had done differently in hindsight? And with the advice, what would you have for future MetaDAO founders? And what advice would you have for future MetaDAO founders is the question. I don't know if there's any thoughts there.
With our launch, I don't think so. I think it was perfect. The way the execution happened. Timing was perfect. The amount of efforts it took to reach there was substantial. But what is it? It's the biggest raise ever on Solana or any chain yet.
I think it was like 85 million committed, if I remember, something like that.
It was 155 million.
Oh, yeah, 155.
Yeah. So it's almost like that. It couldn't have been any better.
Yeah.
But even apart from the amount of money raised, what mattered really was the authenticity that we showed later on. It was like, we don't need the 155 for now. We are a small startup. We have to, prove our point first. It wasn't just an idea before that. There was not a single line of code written to get there. Whatever we did was absolutely perfect. It set the stage up not just only for us, but for the rest of the teams as well. So
I love that answer.
Glad.
I think the question's also asking what happened after that.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, right? Like what we've done is build a set of amazing products so far. Great experiments, all done through a plan and not a strategy, like Josh would say. Now we are circling back down to that strategy part, and that's how Umbra grows from. Josh, you want to add something to this?
Yeah. Look. It's what most companies don't understand, and this is not just early stage. There are a lot of big companies in crypto that I can point a stick at. I won't, but there are. And that is, they have a plan. They have a product plan. Let's go build this feature. We hope it's going to work. But actually, you've got to have a strategy. And the strategy is not the strategy is not a plan. Right? People talk about strategic planning. Strategic planning is nonsense. Right? The strategy is about who are we actually building for? Why do they care about us? And what is it that we're doing that is unique in their mind? And fundamentally, it's not like how you get to your strategies. You don't make your strategy up in an early stage product business. You go through an intensive kind of backwards and forwards process, right? And there's this you're looking at all of the trade-offs. Fundamentally, you're always looking at trade-offs. And there are things that you can do and there are things that you can't do. And there are people who you will never satisfy. So how do you build out a product? And the way that I describe it is, how do you build for your white hot user? The person who you solve a pain point for so beautifully, they love what you're doing. And how do you identify that? And then how do you build a strategy that actually fulfills on that outcome? And then the key thing why like the strategy matters is because everything drops out of it. Every decision starts to become easy. It's like, we're not going to do that because it doesn't fit the strategy. And you end up with a two-liner strategy, but it's not like, let's make up a strategy and then build a product. There's very much an intensive process. And the strategy really is the last piece that drops out because all the pennies drop and they align. And suddenly you've got a clear path and you're not caught up in, let's build this feature or do this thing. Let's not have a plan. Like, we're going to do a plan. And the problem with all of that is that you just end up building stuff that looks exactly like everybody else's. And so there's no differentiation in the mind of the person who wants to use you. And it's not a branding exercise. It's an all of company exercise. And the example that I showed the guys, I'll probably share it. The example I showed the guys is an insurance company in the United States called Lemonade. And I love showing this strategy. And you can get the strategy on the front page. And Lemonade is an insurance company that figured out that the decision maker for insurance in the house is a woman. So they built their entire insurance company around catering for insurance for women. And it is genius. Like, it's total genius. And you can literally look at the front page and go, I know what their strategy is. You may not get it perfectly right, but you really understand what it's about. And and it's growing incredibly quickly. It's incredibly successful, and I just love being able to, when you've got a business that actually these guys clearly understand who their white hot user is, and what we've done with Umbra in the workshop is really identify that as well. Who is the person who really cares about V2 and sovereign assets? I'm always safe, and I can and no matter what happens to Umbra, I'm always going to be able to get my assets out, but I can sit in a place of rest. I've got a safe haven I can go to and I can transact from. And where we're starting out is with a specific individual profile, but part of that as well is that there's a payroll option, which is this sort of second piece that we're able to fine tune on. I think payroll for us for Umbra is like a starting place, but very quickly it could be that companies just want to be able to transact inside of Umbra. And so we're looking for that as we launch out. We're launching out with a specific white hot user profile, and we're looking for this second extension piece. And all of that is happening with inside of full product, full architecture design, full marketing, probably a brand refresh, all of that designed around so that it unifies as a strategy, just like Lemonade Insurance does. So that when you hit it,
I can say as someone who runs a crypto business, the payroll thing is something I'm very interested in. And it's like a huge problem that is people's safety and everything. It's like it needs to be done.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why payroll is part of the focus as well. It's not our key focus because payroll is very like monthly transactional. Yeah. And we're obviously interested in people that transact all the time, but I suspect that payroll is a gateway to getting all of a company to come in and go, I'm just going to use Umbra for all my payments from now on. So we see it as something we definitely want to move with and launch with, while we charge out and really solve a key problem for the individual kind of crypto user. And in privacy, what matters is the profile is quite specific. People who don't have any assets don't care about privacy, and people who've been in crypto for 5 minutes don't care about privacy because they don't even realize that privacy is a problem. And so the profile is people with assets, who have been in the space and are sophisticated and do understand the risks and do understand, when they look at your offering, they truly understand whether it works or not. So you've got to have absolute credibility, and you've got to be, but catering for that kind of that profile is a brilliant profile to go for. So that's what V2 is actually about. It's about satisfying the needs of experienced, sophisticated users in crypto who have substantial assets who want to be able to transact privately and safely.
Yeah, we have this really great screenshot. I mean, RWAs is really hot right now. Tokenized stocks being paired with meme coins. A couple months ago, privacy was really hot on the rise of Zcash and whatnot. Maybe as wrapping here, like just some wrapping thoughts on the future, where privacy is headed. Is this a narrative that people are going to be paying attention to? How do you guys want to wrap this up? Wrapping thoughts.
Well, I probably spoke a bit too much, but I'm happy to give you a thought as a guy who's been sitting in that space for a very long time. And that is that privacy as a meta is still on the up and up because no one's truly solved the problem. We've seen people have a go at it, and some people have done it better than others, but no one has actually designed privacy so that it has no trade-offs. And what I mean by that is that you don't need to worry about legality. It's not complex to use. You don't need to, somehow be, a technical OG or an engineer to be able to use it. It happens quickly, smoothly, and it doesn't cost you too much. So no one's really solved that in privacy. There's a lot of people who have tried different solutions, but from my perspective, Umbra V2 is the most exciting thing I've seen. Absolutely, without doubt, the most exciting thing I've seen because it solves all of those issues. Gives you an extraordinary, simple, elegant solution that's safe and private. And so I think that the future for Umbra is exciting.
Um, I mean, to add to this, right? Like, we've seen different versions of privacy, different attempts at it. Like George said, on one end you have like the cypherpunks who come up with all the idealist point of view towards privacy. And then there are, a few set of people who would be on the other side, which is like being completely centralized. Both of these, um, ends of the spectrum do not really actually work. Uh, there is a middle path, something that we'd like to call like a cipher capitalist who would build for a system that's actually usable. That would make privacy as simple as using something like a cash app, uh, right? And that's what the goal is for Amra. Make privacy usable, and this is the grand scheme that we are looking at. Uh, from the initial idea that we just had, which was the incognito mode for your money. That's a tiny goal. What we're doing now, which is building a safe haven, is something that's going to be an intense job, but we are bound to do it for sure.
I love it,
Abbas, you want to add
guys.
to this?
I love it.
You can see the last like middle tweet you just shared a little while ago. That's basically the vision, right? I mean, if you can own SpaceX in a private account, you can own gold, you can own fossils, you can own collectible cards, own whatever you want, as long as it's on this free and open, permissionless, programmable market that anyone can tap into. We can enable it. We can make it available for you. We can make it through private property ownership for anyone across the world. And you can stay and rest in peace in that space for yourself. You can just keep any amount of assets, any type of assets within that environment, and also be able to transact with it freely. So bringing back that level of freedom and privacy to the world and make it accessible. Like you mentioned, the design space is massive. We have an opportunity to make it actually usable for people. So we'll take that shot. Hopefully, we can get to that point with V2.
I love that. I've been using crypto for over a decade now, and we've been talking about privacy for absolute forever. But yes, I got excited about Umbra from day one, from the ICO, because of this, making privacy usable. Really loved the initial vision. Of course, we've supported you guys for a long time too to help get the word out. But yeah, really exciting to see how far you guys have come. Josh, really refreshing to have you in the MetaDAO ecosystem.
Pleasure to be here.
I like
Pleasure.
the vibes, so it's good to have you. Welcome.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much, and we'll get this clipped up and sent out. And appreciate your time and dropping by and getting the V2 update.
Thank you so much, sir. It's
All
a
right.
pleasure always. See ya.
All right. Cheers, guys. All right. That is Umbra. Good on them.
Boys.
Good on them. They're cooking. They're cooking.
So real quick, I wanted to address the token utility question as well. I mean, that's the value prop of MetaDAO, right? You get to own the underlying, you get to own the IP, the treasury. Like, it's great alignment between team and community / investors. So, I mean, the good thing about these tokens is you kind of don't need any extra utility. It's all comes pre-packaged and built in.
Yeah.
And now all you need to do is for the team to do exactly what guys like Umbra are doing. Just continue to push and build out new products, experiment, grow their business, and just continue to grow, continue to grow their business. So that's the utility of the token. That's what you get when you invest in a token on MetaDAO. And I've said this, one too many times, but it's the best crypto native solution to the broken social contract that exists between teams and communities in this space. So yeah, just wanted to really just quick takeaway on that, but love what they're doing. Excited to see like what traction they build as they continue to experiment. I think Crew mentioned that that's a big part of what they're doing, is just sort of experimenting a lot, with different products and things of that nature. So excited to see what comes out of that for them. Any takeaways from you, Josh? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think Arceum, when was it ARX, the token launch, it kind of brought into question like, okay, is Umbra a product company or was it the actual underlying privacy tech? And I think it was cool what their initial vision was, but it's very clear that to drive value, you really have to create the secret sauce at the protocol level. And I guess that's obviously what they've realized. On top of that, you have to build compelling, easy to use, consumer friendly products. And it looks like they're kind of combining these strategies. I think they're really strong on the product side to get those really good. Like their branding's gorgeous, very simple, beautiful branding. And then now we're starting to see them go in kind of deep tech. You own at a 2.4 circulating market cap, you can go buy a company that potentially could be a leader in privacy, right? You know what Zcash is worth, but do you use Zcash or do you speculate on Zcash? That's the thing, is there's two different types of users out there. Are you using Zcash privacy or are you just speculating on the token? Right. And so if Umbra can kind of give you a bit of both, governed by MetaDAO, it's compelling. It definitely is compelling if you have a long-term outlook. So
1000%.
that's my
1000%.
Yeah.
So guys, for the rest of the show, here's what we got for you. I want to go through the full RWA meme narrative. I want to talk a little bit about RWA memes. We'll go through some V4 stuff.
Is there alpha in the Discord too that we can pull out?
We'll probably have some more alpha tomorrow. We've been the problem is I haven't been active the last few days due to some IRL happenings. Actually, let me real quick. Let's go into the Discord. Let's go over the last. I've been inactive for about 3 days. Let's go 3 days and let's see how the group has performed over the last 3 days unattended. Nice. We hit a 13x in the last 3 days. A 6x on Toad. Very nice. Oh, nice. The Discord discovered Toad really early. Toad was I think his name is Mike Dundas or but was it Mike Dundas or
it's Mike Dudas.
The guy that invested, he was an investor in Pump Fund. He's an early stage investor in Pump Fund. Literally bought this token at 1.2K market cap, bro.
And basically the first money into any bonding curve.
Pretty much, very close to it. And it like ripped to like 13 mil on Solana. So yeah, so glad that the Discord has still been cooking even in my absence. But yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about RWA memes, the V4 sector, V4 both on Robinhood and a few things on mainnet to pay attention to. And then I also want to walk you guys through my my ETF sort of like thesis for Spectrum built on Prism, which we'll get into with the V4 stuff on mainnet and Robinhood. And I think there's just a couple like there's some alpha just as far as like the state of on chain on Robinhood. There's a lot of like charts that are curling, so we can kind of take a look at some of those as well. So anything that you want to cover specifically, Josh, or you want me to riff? Because I can riff.
Yeah, you riff for a minute. I need to decompress after that interview and do a little research on the timeline. I'm going to go through the Discord, see if I see anything interesting.
Bet. Okay, so let's riff here. Let's riff here a bit then. Let's
Pepe,
first pull.
Shout out Pepe. He tagged us into a easy to understand stockbroker thesis that maybe we could update our thoughts on. That I'll read through. So you go do your thing. I'm just gonna read through this. And then we can read it out. We owe it to stockbrokers to get that right for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That was that interview was not my best showing. That was not my best showing. Like that was just a very hard to and look, 600 interviews. I trade. I'm in the Discord. Like there's a ton of projects that I read through. I'm able to get around a project. You know what I'm saying? Fairly easily, but that one just threw me for a loop for whatever reason. Call it smooth brain, call it coming back after a few days being inactive, whatever. DGen Cap, he bought at 45K, but he was sent a lot of tokens by Slinger too. So effectively 1.5K. Okay, cool.
Damn, did he Slinger ran that up though, eh?
Oh, for sure they did. For sure they did. Seeing a lot of seeing a lot of Pump Fund social app on my timeline as well. It seems like everyone is trying to capture this like social trading experience. We see like there's a breakout. I mean, it happens every single cycle. We saw the breakout with FOMO. Initially it was kind of faded. People, some used it, some didn't. Now, top traders on FOMO are being offered, $20,000-$40,000 to come over to Pump Fund and their trading app. So the social trading is very is starting to get more popular, and it definitely adds as a signal to markets that you don't really get on Twitter, right? Like I remember I saw Eric Zong from the Uniswap team buy a token, and literally the token was not mentioned at all on the timeline. And it did rip. It ripped like a couple 100%, like 400, 500% or something, just off that. So I think these social trading apps are something that might be good to pay attention to. And yeah, so gonna keep an eye on that. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about RWA memes. We'll talk about Robinhood. We'll get to some Robinhood stuff as well. But I wanted to start here because last week I failed to talk about this with you guys. We're actually talking about this in the Discord, and I, for whatever reason, failed to bring this on MCG. Let's do this real quick. Let me go to the stonk chart. Let me copy the CA. Let's look at it in the Discord, and let's see how. Let's see when we called it in the Discord. So in the Discord, it was called at 1.6 mil. 1.6 mil. So crazy story around stonk. So this is the RWA meme platform on Solana. I think it'll be a huge winner on Solana. I think that is pretty obvious. Obviously, Solana has a big push for tokenized assets, RWA adoption. I think they're making a really big push for that. And just like on Robinhood, I think just RWA memes in general are the next evolution of meme coins. I've gone on record saying that on the timeline, said that on here with the long.xyz thesis. The next evolution for meme coins is to be paired to a stock, and the memetics will evolve from there. I mean, we can take a look at some great memetics. First off, you have Manlet with Ansem. That's great memetics. Not even going to mention that one. The GTA 6 with T2 from Backpack. If you guys don't know, T2 is the company behind Grand Theft Auto, the game. And so GTA 6 kind of being compared to that is really nice. So obviously there's like some great memetics that can be like even this one. The token ticker is yes. It's paired with Kalshi through Tessera. Shout out to Sarah. And the name of the coin is, will this coin go up? Right. So like I'm not trying to shill any of these. I'm just pointing out that like the memetics around stocks and meme pairs, meme stock pairs, the memetics is actually funny. It's actually something that mirrors exactly what we were doing with meme coin trading before. So I think that RWA memes is the next evolution for meme coins. I think it's going to take some time for people to catch up. I think it's probably going to take Pump Fund enabling that on their platform, which I definitely see them doing. I'm pretty sure, Pump Fund, they're already not, I don't want to say vamping, but they're already kind of going after the social trading aspect of things with their social app. So I can only assume that, they bring RWA memes into the fold as well at some point. So I think that I think RWA memes can be absolutely massive. Stonk.fun is a great platform as well. As you can see, maybe let's go to their they had a page where you can actually see like all of the rewards for the entire platform. I wanted to see if I can go to that. There we go. Here's the revenue page, but this is for the Stonk token. I want to look at the revenue page for every token that's been paired. Yep, let's go to revenue. Yeah, so I guess I thought these numbers were a lot larger. I don't think this is the correct page in my opinion. Let me see. Flywheel rewards. Here we go. So here's the rewards page. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it. Let's blow this up. Cool. $1.5 million has been paid to holders. So here's what you have. Reward tokens pay holders pro rata on the quote token the launch is paired against. Newer V3 launches from a 3% transfer tax on every transfer. Earlier ones from 85% of their 4% pools trading fees. Values are shown at the token's current price, not its price when each payout landed. So obviously you have all these tokens here. They're being paired with, whatever is the paired token, whether it's Ansem or Anthropic or OpenAI, T2, SpaceX, RoboStrategy. The main token of the Stonk.fun platform is Stonk itself, and that actually is paired with the SPY, which I think is, that's actually pretty awesome. For the platform itself, this is it hurts me. It pains me to look at this chart because while I was I've been testing out different terminals, and dude, my terminal went down on this dip. I was trying to buy, and like my terminal wasn't playing. It wasn't playing with me, bro. It was lagging. It wasn't loading for me. There's just all these things happening with the terminal that I was using. And about 15 minutes later, bro, I'm like, all right, terminal's working. And then bang, it's like at 7, 8, 9 mil. And I'm like, oh man, like it started to push, like you can see here. Yeah. And in just like 20 minutes or so, like it started to push and I like missed my entry. So yeah, I'm coping based on that because I could have been up like 8x by now or so, or at least 4x by now. But yeah, is what it is.
The funny thing is I didn't realize Stonk was a platform. I thought it was just another meme paired with SPY. And I think I faded this too at much lower, unfortunately. This was another Discord call out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this is in the Discord at 1.6 mil.
1.6, yeah.
Yeah, this was called out like down here, I believe, somewhere. No, I think it was called over here, actually. I think it was called over here, 1.6 mil. It started to push. And I realized after this candle right here to 4.5, I was like, okay, I think this has some legs. I'm going to wait for a pullback. Waited for this, bro. My terminal, for whatever reason, was just bugging out. And dude, it just pains me. That's a mistrade right there. Because I didn't, the thesis for this wasn't to trade the ecosystem, is really just to get the main token. Because as you can see, like, let me actually go back to the flywheel part of this. A share of every V3 pool trading fees flows to the flywheel, which buys and burns the platform's top 10 tokens by market cap. Oh, wow, this is new. I thought this was oh wow, that's I guess that's the V3 update, weighted by market cap every few minutes. Tokens that drop out of the rankings keep their history and resume the moment they climb back in. Wow, that is wow. I didn't see that V3 update because when I looked at this last, it was a lot of the fees were going to buy and burn the actual the actual main token. Real quick, let me just look at Stonk and let's just see what the flywheel is. Stonk was in the flywheel's top rankings. Its buybacks below are permanent. If you climbing into, got you. So I just want to make sure Stonk supply is permanently reduced by platform buyback and burn. That's what I thought, right? Stonk bought back on the open market with platform revenue and burn. Supply goes down about 500K almost worth of buybacks done to date. I believe there's some crazy figure as well. Separately from the fees above, the platform spends a share of all X stock revenue buying stock on the open market and burning it. So several like flywheel mechanisms going on here. I wonder what the actual circulating is with all this all these buybacks happening. But either way, great, absolutely phenomenal platform. I got hats off to these guys. Let me actually see Stonk Fun. Let me look up there. It says there. Here we go. Here's the stonk.xyz platform. No, it's not actually. No, it's not. This isn't it. Whoa. Because it said that their Twitter is suspended. Let's see. Stonk Fun. Let's see. Looking. I think this. No. This might be it. This might be it here, but I'd like to see more confirmation. I don't think so. It's giving me a little scammy. The official X that was linked here, the official Twitter account that was linked on this website has been suspended. And I'm not sure why. Okay, now it's coming up. Here we go. Now it's coming up. It literally
Chill
was,
on unnecessary FUD.
yeah, unnecessary FUD. My bad. No, literally, it was saying that it was suspended when I first brought it up. So I'm like, let me search for it myself. But yeah, I mean, great platform. I think they're onto something. Okay, so their Stonk Fun flywheel update just happened. It just happened. So rewards increase, platform revenue increases, 4% tax stays the same. 2.9% of that tax goes to holders. We now use transfer tax. Coins now launched as token 2022 tokens with transfer tax. Platform fees. V3 is 0.75%. Increased revenue and stock buybacks. Previously, platform fees were derived from 15% of 4% radium pool. Now platform fees come from a 1% radium pool. Okay. And this is where the eco flywheel was changed. Instead of just going back to buy stock, it's now going back to buy and burn the top 10 tokens on the platform, which I think that is absolutely freaking amazing. What we've experienced over the last, year, basically ever since Believe, and really, if you want to, go beyond that, ever since the launch of Pump Fund, all platform fees have been taken out of the ecosystem, right? Now we have platform fees going right back into the charts that are powering the platform, which, it then creates that flywheel effect of more volume, higher prices, less supply on the market. And it just kind of lends itself to, that natural flywheel effect. You kind of need that spark at first, which it seems like Stonk has found that spark. So yeah, looking good. Looking good here for the Stonk Fun.xyz platform. Looking very,
So
very
are you
nice.
buying the token here, or do you think you should buy eco tokens?
You know what? With that latest update, now I am rethinking. That positioning of now buying eco tokens. Looks like it's on Ansem's radar as well. I believe.
Shout out Ika.
Hey, dude, bag working this guy. Love his
When's
content.
Ika coming on MCG? I mean, Ika, you gotta
We
get
got to get
on.
him back for sure. We got to get him back
Oh yeah,
on for
he was
sure.
on MCG. That's right.
Yeah, he was on MCG before. Yeah. So we got to
Yeah,
get
I
him back
remember
on.
that.
So real quick, now that we know it's going to the top 10, let's go to the platform. Let's look at all their stuff. I believe GTA has a pretty big T2 catalyst. Let's see.
I'm not gonna
Upcoming
I'm not gonna
promotional.
lie. I'm fading the butthole thing. I don't like that. That's kind of
Yeah, I'm
that's
more.
I pulled it open. I'm like, oh guys, come on. But this
Yeah.
T2 thing, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna fade Manlet. You know, I think that's
I
like
wouldn't fade Manlet here, actually. I wouldn't fade Manlet
you
here.
wouldn't
So
fa-
I'll tell you why, because not bad chart. Let's go to the 2 hour. Let's see what a 2 hour shows. Not bad of a chart, actually. So here's the reason why I wouldn't fade Manlet. So that's kind of the point that Ica was making as well. But basically, you have this token that's paired with Ansem. Remember, Ansem was starting an ecosystem around his token. And so he's kind of wanting people to kind of create things that help push Ansem forward. So, he talked about this sort of like hackathon thing for builders. We see him empowering people like Vanilla Funk as well in his ecosystem, and showing support and some love for that. So I think there are things that, will attract his attention. I think Manlet is one of them. At the end of the day, it's driving volume for Ansem. People are getting rewarded with Ansem tokens, and Manlet is like a common like mimetic term for like Solana folks. So
Yeah.
I think just from a mimetic standpoint, there's there's some it holds weight there, but then it also has, if we're trading attention, it has more attention ahead of it, because you basically will have Ansem interacting with this in a meaningful way. Like, Solana manlets has been a term for quite some time. So I think it's actually not a bad bet to bet. I think Manlet, if anything, I would say is probably a top 3 of my picks in this ecosystem so far.
Okay.
But 300K bottom, and it's now up to 550K with the platform actually showing some promise at this point. Not a bad setup there for Manlet. I definitely like GTA though. Definitely like GTA. I think that's it's not, wow, that's wow. That came from like 70K, right? Let me switch to market cap. Yeah, it came from like
Yeah.
70K. Jesus. All right. Holy moly. So definitely worth paying attention to a few of these. Let me see here. There's a lot of like really great mimetics, fries in the bag for
Sure.
McDonald's. There's Goblin. Goblin was a huge narrative. That was actually a meme coin that was worth 6 mil, or actually like 20 mil at one point. So that paired with OpenAI, actually pretty solid. I'm
Fumbler,
interested.
what are you looking at
Yeah.
here, buddy? Like, do you have any top 3 with a lot of question marks? Would Manlet
Top
top
three?
3? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hear it.
So I would say for now, I'm just looking through.
Someone keeps
Looking through.
shilling this elote thing in our Discord. Just
Elote?
saying. Yeah, elote. Let me see if I can open a thesis here on elote.
Yeah, or send me CA, or send CA again in the trenches chat, and like I can pull it up from there. What I like to do is come in and just go by volume. Go by volume real quick, see what's attracting attention, what's getting volume. Obviously, you see GTA getting volume, you see Manlet getting volume. So that's another like check mark on the thesis there. I wonder if Ray the Cat, what oh wait, no, that's 5.4K market cap. What the heck?
Sure.
Yeah, I would just elote, bro. Elote this thing right here. It's 32K market cap, bro.
Someone's trying to get it to go.
Yeah. You know, like look at this, bro. George Droid on Neuralink. If you guys remember the George Droid um meme coin account from last cycle, that account, it was definitely racist. Like this is definitely like crazy. But like just purely from like it's super funny. Super funny the stuff that account was posting. My God, like I actually showed my normie friends some videos because that was just like it was just crazy
Yo.
funny. It was crazy funny. But again, like that's why I say, like, you know, this is the next evolution of memes. Like there's so much like memetics tied into some of these charts.
So
They're
Top
just not
Fumbler
like
says not a
priced in.
big fan of this meta on the Soul Eco because it's bundled. I'm waiting for bundles
Oh,
to
yeah.
offload and I'll start picking some. Look at
Accelerate.
really good lore, and you earn Ray. Is that Radium?
Yeah. But here's the thing. It's not even on the top 10 list. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, I think this is a good view of how early we are in RWA memes. You know, on Robinhood, you have AI. On Robinhood, that's AI is really the main RWA meme on Robinhood. Here on Solana, I mean, you have the first one that's paired with Anthropic that I refuse to talk about. I'd rather keep things a little PG here on stream. But
Is that what it looks like, or what?
I guess like it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, look, I think it's really early for RWA memes. On Robinhood, you only have AI paired with NVIDIA. That takes up 50% of the volume, the tokenized stock volume on Robinhood. If one token can capture 50% of the market, that's how you know it's very, very early stage. Here on Stock Fund, we only have like a couple meme coins that are above, like, let's call it 500K. The other thing as well is it's only on Stonk Fun. We haven't seen any other platform do this on Solana yet. I'm assuming Pump Fun is going to follow shortly thereafter. So I really think that we're very early in the RWA sector. As Top Fumbler mentioned, is there going to be bundles? Is there going to be all the games being played? Absolutely. You know, it's Solana, it's, you know, Trenches, it's Degens. Degens will do their thing. They will continue to play the game, right? And maybe do that in not so much of an ethical way. But at the end of the day, I think we're very early. I think there's going to be a lot of runners. I think AI will likely be the top runner. I think Stonk Fun, if they can survive a vamp from Pump Fun, I think Stonk Fun will do exceptionally well. So that's the take there on RWAs. Very early and likely more volume and runners to come. All right. Top Fumbler, thoughts on Fire price action chart. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move to Robinhood here. I think we covered all we should cover on Solana from what I'm seeing. You know, I think just a couple quick shouts, maybe. Couple quick shouts. So, Ansem is really holding the golden pocket here very, very well. Let me delete this and actually show you guys this fib. Bang, bang. Yep. So this the golden pocket here between 150, 170 mil, that's actually been holding really, really well for Ansem. Right here, this low has been pretty defended. So you guys know me. You guys know that I'm pretty much bullish on the Ansem token. I think if anyone can steer the ship of attention, attract and keep attention, I think it'll be him. So I think Ansem is gonna do well. That's one that I'm looking at. The other one is I wonder what Kate is going to do here. I'm still seeing that there's some timeline presence for Kate. So interested to see like what it does as it tries to hold these lows. I've been trying out this on-chain prop firm, and I'm trying out some of these strategies on Pump Fund. I'm seeing that, you know, a lot of these charts are coming up and they're getting like sold off, but then they're bouncing again. A good example of that was Jimothy. I got in here at these lows here at like 7 mil when like 6-7 mil after it like totally dumped off, because when you look at it here, yeah, so it totally got dumped off. It started coming back, and I bidded it here within this zone and wrote it up and sold it off. Average sell probably around 15 mil. So I'm looking at, probably I might try to reload, but this is on the prop firm. Like I said yesterday in my tweet, with prop firms, you can get more reps in. You can try out new strategies without it like being a true test to your portfolio. But I think those are really the main ones that I'm looking at on Solana. Nothing like really meaningful happening outside of the stonk.fun eco. I think that can really do well. So let's move on to Robinhood. Here. I think Top Fumbler has been waiting on Fire. Fire is really good here, man.
Yeah, tell me, someone he just retweeted that Fire is a simpler version of Stonk Brokers. How is that true?
So that's the part. So I'm actually going to do a thesis write-up on freaking Fire. So really what Fire is, the TLDR, which again, it's good to have a TLDR on a project and then you can dig deep like we were talking about earlier. So the TLDR on Fire is you basically the longer you hold Fire, the more rewards you get. And so people are earning rewards in the form of tokenized stocks. And I think there's a post out somewhere where, you know, people, this guy Licks, he says, I've made close to 5K already in stock rewards, you know, off of his holdings so far. So, and you can even see when we brought on Saunder's been holding for, I believe, 95 days, if I'm not mistaken. And so Saunder also, you know, he has a ton of rewards as well. So, you know, that's kind of the TLDRs. Basically, you hold the Fire token. It uses like V4 hooks to do something special. And like, I'm going to dig into this later. I'm going to actually read the docs and stuff like that. I am, full disclosure, I am in sub a mil. I am in I caught that dip below a mil. So like about like, you know, 800K, something like that. You know, what I liked on the Fire chart is a few things here. Number one, we had this range develop for a few weeks. Right here, have this range developed. We finally broke above that range, retested down here, and you know, and we're off. So you know, when I woke up, saw it sub a mil, bang, I'm just lighting it in there, just threw it in there, and we'll see how we do. We'll see how it performs. But I'm still going to look out for my thesis. Look out for my thesis. I think Cryptic also posted a really good tweet. People feeling fatigued from these constant rotations makes a play like Fire both more refreshing and appealing. A play where you're rewarded for holding. The longer you hold, the more rewards you earn. Hold for just 90 days and your rewards are multiplied by 5. Vlad said he wanted RWAs and memes. This is the perfect combo of the two, a play which can get attention from both right curve and left curve investors. This can become the leading movement of Robinhood. A return to holding is the only escape from mindless rotation. So, yeah, a couple things worth to note there. But good look on Fire. I think Fire is poised to do well. So here's my original thesis. Actually, I wanted RWA Fi, right? Like RWA Fi, like RWA DeFi, a mixture of the two. And I've been waiting to kind of see what happens, because you have your your indexes of the world, but then at one point, like, everything came out and was like, oh yeah, use token taxes to get rewarded in stocks, and it was kind of played out, you know what I mean? um but I'm seeing something here as far as RWA side of things for fire. Again, I'll be doing some deep dives in that, so look out for some content on that here. Look out for some content on that here this week, and I'll post something out. Let's see. Let's see here. But I think that's all I have on fire for now. Looks really good. Actually, I forgot about this. Here's a write-up that Sonder did. Um, this is probably what, like, not too long ago. Sonder did a really nice write-up here on July, or this is a little like a week or two ago. But basically, he references this tweet by Vlad where he says, "Why not both? Right? Why not RWAs and meme coins?" And that's kind of where fire sits in between the two, and which kind of makes up a real base for a thesis, because a lot of people are describing this as the NEAT of Robinhood. All right, if you remember NEAT on Solana, it's actually not doing too bad. Still like 20 mil market cap. Like, usually memes from last cycle have long died, but NEAT is actually still holding up. But basically, this kind of is the NEAT of Robinhood, where you just kind of get paid for doing nothing, right? Like, you're just getting paid for holding. So what fire does is let them run the same playbook by holding. To put the size, TradFi proves loyalty is worth billions. The loop underneath. So I'll look into this, and that's the fire will retire us. So I'll look into this and I'll do a write up on it. I'll take a look. I'll read through the full article. It's a little bit long, but I like what I'm seeing so far here on fire, to say the least. Let's look at some other charts. Let's just go through the full ecosystem. Yeah. All right. So we got Frong looking good, bouncing off. So this was actually a pivot entry here.
Can
on
you
the 8 hour.
change that chart?
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
well,
My
good.
bad. So
All right, it's holding.
Here's the pivot on the 8 hour. You see this pivot entry here. There's actually two, one here, but I kind of use this one where the entire move started. But this pivot led to a 300% move. So this came all the way back to the origin of the move, saw the down channel, broke out, retest of the pivot. That would have been an entry. A raw dog test of the entry. A raw dog entry would have been here on the test of the pivot. This would have been a good entry here as well. But looks like it's headed higher. In my opinion, I think we're headed much higher for Frong. I don't think Uniswap is going to let that die. The other Meowshi is basically the Sushi Swap equivalent. The founder of Sushi Swap has been like kind of soft shilling this quite a bit, and he literally came out with a tweet just the other day saying, "Hey, look, like we're not going down for nothing. We're gonna fight." And he was talking about that. So let me actually look that up real quick. And the Meowshi token itself is like has super deep lore within the Sushi Swap, the history of Sushi Swap. But if you were to go to the founder, his page here, you can scroll down and you can basically see him kind of say the greatest launch ecosystem on Robinhood. Greatest, most interesting multi-chain DEX in crypto. He's teasing that it's going to be a big week, right? And I think he's also teaming up with Deployer on this pools.fun. I saw Deployer, he's not a fan of he's not a fan of Uniswap. So, I found it interesting that he said he put this tweet out, but then it was even more interesting that Alex retweeted it. So I'm like, okay, so they're probably doing a joint venture on some sort of launch pad. And yeah, so as you can see, like there's a lot here. And if you were to look through his replies as well, um, if you were to look through his replies, you'll also see him interact a lot with the Meowshi guys. I mean, I can probably search it here real quick, Meowshi, and would something come up? Maybe not, maybe not. So maybe he didn't mention it directly, but he definitely has been replying to a lot of these Meowshi tweets. And maybe, yeah, you see there, pools dot fun. See Meowshi there a second. But yeah, it tends to show up in his replies quite a bit. Tends to show up in his replies. He's even been seen saying that, cats are the next runner or whatever. But I won't dig too deep on that. But basically, TLDR on Meowshi is, this is the sushi swap equivalent to Frong, essentially. It's not like the first token of any particular launch pad, but it, from a lore standpoint, has a lot of roots in the sushi swap ecosystem. Man, look at that, huh? AI is looking absolutely
Just
fire.
stair stepping.
Absolutely fire there on AI. I'm actually gonna post about AI a little later here as well.
Could this? I mean, it has all the ingredients. It almost sounds too good to be true. But
dude, this, if you're just willing to wait, this will play out very, very nicely. Very, very nicely. Again, first RWA meme ever. First meme to be paired with a stock, and then also first this is also taking up 50% of the tokenized, is driving 50% of all the token volume. So I'm assuming maybe we get some sort of, who knows, maybe we get an interaction from, Vlad himself, or what have you. But that's another one. Let's see, what else are we looking at? Brody. I wanted to call this one out as well. Brody with the head and shoulders here. Yeah, Brody with the head and shoulders here. And I've been refreshing my fibs here, but yeah, Brody looking really, really nice. It actually looks like it wants to break out. A lot of people don't like Brody because, they feel Kitsu should be in its place, but Brody is actually has pretty deep mimetic lore within the history of Robinhood. Basically, I believe it was like I think it's like maybe not history of Robinhood, but I think it's like the dog of of Vlad or something like that. So some relevant dog. We all know dog memes in crypto tend to run, whether you think it's it's stupid or not. People give attribute value to it. So I'm not here to push my opinion. I'm just reacting to and positioning based on what the market thinks, not what I think.
Throw
Brody,
Cash Cat and Tendies.
Yep. Gonna get to those as well. Let's see. Cash Cat off the freaking Pico bottom.
Even with
Off
the insider trading stuff, still looking strong.
Dude, I told you guys, man. I gave you guys the full thesis on the timeline. Head and shoulders in high demand, right? I mean, in deep value. In deep value territory
It's
here.
interesting how Chill knew the Vlad or the listing was coming.
Hey,
wild.
man, just don't even mention it. Don't even mention it. You feel me? But there's that. I want to call out. Wolf as well. Wolf here is the SHIB deployer. Now, the SHIB deployer has deployed tokens before in past cycles, but it through like through other extended stuff. It's like, you know, a wallet funded and sent to a, you know, it's like they call it hops, right? Like if you have to go 2, 3, 4 different wallets out, it's 3 hops away from the SHIB deployer. So Wolf is 2 hops away from the SHIB deployer. Apparently, this wallet was funded by a wallet that was connected to the SHIB deployer in like a meaningful way. Apparently, this wallet has been dormant for 5 years. So obviously, it stands to reason that, all right, well, this is a little bit more meaningful than, oh, you know, someone that might have loosely interacted with the SHIB deployer in the past. Either way, whether you think it's stupid or not, I think it's coming into a nice little bid zone. I actually want it to go lower. I'm actually looking for sub 2 mil here, but you know, seems to be bouncing really nicely off of the golden pocket. So I'm actually going to just keep monitoring this one. I'm just going to monitor this one, see how it reacts around this level. If it wants to go lower, I'm definitely going to be a buyer. And that's also in my bucket as well. I created an ETF on Spectrum, so you guys can go buy that if you want. Let's see. We talked about that one.
Did you actually set that up already?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Do you own?
But I
have
still
you
need
bought
to.
any Spectrum tokens?
So we'll talk about that whole spiel here in a sec. We'll talk about that whole spiel here in a sec. Here is. Let's look at another. Let's look at tendies real quick. Tendies has actually been a pretty strong chart.
Wow.
We had very minimal. There's this pivot here. And again, I'm just testing out pivots. My main thing on Robinhood is buying in deep value territory. Throw a fib 0.886 between 0.886 and 0.887 on 0.786. Between these two levels here, I'm just buying in between these bottom 2 lines. So I look at a chart, I go swing high, swing low on a meaningful high time frame, and I'm literally just looking to buy here somewhere in that level. That's all I'm doing really for a lot of these charts, because the pullbacks, you know, charts will have pullbacks. They will retrace. People will sell and you know go on the wrong side of the market or what have you. So that's where I'm kind of simplifying my process and refining it even more so. But yeah, barely touched the pivot, barely touched that deep value area, and it's just been like going crazy. I mean, holding very, very well. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some whales accumulating this one. Kitsu, the office dog for Robinhood. That one is also very nice. Also very nice. Looks like it's forming a little bit of a wedge here. And it looks like it wants higher. It looks like it wants higher. So I'm looking at all of these Robinhood charts. A lot of them look bottomed. A lot of them are starting to curl up. A lot of them are basically pulling a cash cat, right? Like Juggernaut is a big one. I have a very big thesis around Juggernaut. So Juggernaut is Vlad's favorite meme. Juggernaut is Vlad's favorite meme. And as you can see, we are now back above this green line, this kind of line in the sand. We were in this accumulation zone here for quite a few weeks, actually. We're in this accumulation zone, but now we've left it. I think we've left it for good. And this went to 21 million market cap. This went to 21 million market cap in the first round of Robinhood, in that first run up. I definitely think that we can see new all-time highs on this one, because again, we have to look for who is Vlad following and stuff like that. Where is his attention at? Another one that I'm looking at is when this is coming back into a deep value zone. I bought down here, and I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling in it for now. it went from, it went from 3 mil to almost 7 mil. So it kind of had a nice little bounce. There's a lot of lore on this one. So the Vlad followed the founder of this meme coin. The founder of this meme coin was an OG Bitcoiner who bought Bitcoin in 2011 for $2,500. Bag held it for 6 years and then used 45 Bitcoin to buy a pearl white Lamborghini Huracan.
2011 would have been like $25, not 2,500.
No, he bought like it was several thousand Bitcoin for $2,500. What I meant to say, he bought $2,500 worth of Bitcoin, and then he bag held it, and he used 45 Bitcoin of that, which would have been worth about $150 to buy a Lamborghini Huracan. And he's now like doing this like NASCAR thing, like he's in fact his neighbor is like the owner of NASCAR, which is like crazy. So yeah, it's a lot of lore on the Wen token. So just going to be holding. I think this one is, in my opinion, going to be a bit of a sleeper. So I'm just gonna keep tabs on that one. Outside of that, let's see. The last thing that we want to highlight is just is pawns. Oh wow, look at little guy, huh? Little guy's actually this one. Little guy, it broke down a while back, but there's a lot of like mimetic lore with this. Robin Hood stands up for the little guy, is what Vlad likes to say all the time. And so, this has been kind of memeified. I'm starting to wonder though, like outside of the OG meme coins, I'm wondering like which will people start to prioritize? Will they start to prioritize more RWA memes, or will they prioritize other meme coins, like traditional meme coins? In my personal opinion, I think OG meme coins will start to run versus all the other meme coins, and then I think RWA will start to we'll get the rest of the line share. Looks like Ica loves motion as well.
Yeah,
so
I was just gonna say, and then net, we should take a look at that.
So this circle represents when Dom told you guys to flip bearish on Frong and bullish on Pawns, and Pawns is now up like over 100% from that point.
Almost like 2x from that. That's a 10 mil. It's like running to 29 here. 30.
Yeah, let's actually draw this out. Let's see. Yeah, almost 3x off the bottom there. Great call by Dom, because if you guys remembered, we called Frong at about like 1 or 2 million market cap before it went to like 15. So that was like a really nice play for the boys, and that'd have been an easy rotation. What I'm starting to realize is like literally, if you just keep things as simple as you can, man, simple as you can, you take profit, you chill for a second, you look for the next obvious play, and you just rotate into that, and it can be this very like smooth dance, this smooth surfing that you can have on chain. But definitely a lot of opportunity here on chain here so far.
G Money level 100 says Frog and Hood. Oh, Frog and Hood.
I remember Frog and Hood. I was in this at like 100K market cap. You see my chart isn't even, I was in this all the way down here, bro. Like I was looking at this all the way down here. My chart isn't even like going all the way up. But yeah, I used to like trade Frog and Hood like way before the chain launched. This was one of the ones that I didn't hold for millions. I think I only held and like got out at like 600K or something like that. But yeah, Frog and Hood, I'm surprised it's still around. It's definitely one of those OG Noxa meme coins. I think those will continue to be treated like relics. So I continue to watch those. That's another reason why I'm really bullish on stuff like on stuff like Juggernaut. That's why I'm still really bullish on stuff like that. So, OG, I think those OG meme coins with great lore, I think that will continue to do well. Let's see. You also wanted to look at what was Ika saying? Motion.
Yeah,
Motion.
motion, stonk on slow, which we already did,
Oof.
index,
Oof.
and then net.
Motion got motion.
Wow, motion. Oh my
Motion
goodness.
got motion. Wow. Very nice. Let me see. When did we mention this in the in the Discord? 800K up 4x
Oh
right
my
now.
goodness.
Went to 5 mil though. So very, very nice X's for this. Could watch this for a potential pullback. All right. So if you missed motion, here's the plan. If you missed motion like myself, here's the plan. Just very simple. Draw a fib. We'll target sub 2 mil. Let's call it sub 2 mil, but this would be the buy zone for me. Like I said, nice little pivot there too. But this will be the buy zone for me. Very simple. It's now hit its discovery candle. We've seen where some of these charts like continue to run. I'm not sure if this just rips up to like 10 mil. I don't think so. I think it pulls back. I think it pulls back for a little bit before then, making another move. Okay. So that's motion. Let's take a look at net. Net is like Ponzi-nomics, I believe. It's more of like a DeFi. Let's call it a DeFi experiment. Yeah. Call it a DeFi experiment. This was another one that hit my pivot. I actually been watching net, but I never got in. But I watched it for a while. And it was just kind of chilling, doing its thing. But it looks solid. Let me see if I can get a good thesis on net real quick for you guys. Because from what I understand, like they actually made a lot of money on their treasury. Let's see. Yeah, so I know Chijaka has been talking about net quite a bit. The treasury sits at 387K, plus it's in one of the top 5 largest holders on most tokenized stocks on Robinhood chain. Confirmed that they're in touch with Robinhood team in their new article. Whoa. That's different. Announced they will launch one new game every day next week, with main goal buying net from open market. Recently launched a 10-floor mini game and put up 20,000 of their own money as prize. Has an APY of 13,500%. So stake your tokens. I'm making 5K a week now at current prices. Buy during a low volume Sunday and chill. Next week will be glorious. Insane. Wow. Okay. I didn't know all of that about. I've been watching it, but I just never looked into it. I never looked into it.
Open the chart back up. Go back to the chart.
Here's the chart here.
2.1.
Yeah, I'd look for 1 million. I'd look for 1 million if it pulls back. If it gets us that pullback. If we go to the 4-hour, honestly, maybe not even maybe we target the golden pocket here. Maybe we target the golden pocket.
Little
Yeah,
alpha
maybe.
for you guys listening on stream is we might be chatting with these guys this week. So there you know.
All right, so are we not posting schedules anymore? Let's talk about that with all the homies.
Yeah, so want to hear feedback on this. We are not posting schedules this week. There's a lot of people watching the show, and I think a lot of people that are either trading off schedules or other streams are booking guests that we have on and do DD on. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm wondering how we do this. Maybe we do it only in the Discord, but doing it a little more privately, and then you'll get the announcement within 12-hour notice, so it'll come out the night before. But yeah, net is one that we will have on later this week. So just want to let everyone know who's listening here.
Very nice. Some alpha for you guys. Honestly, though, in my opinion, I will say this: 2 million is pretty decent. Like, yes, I understand that, we have to, we're a trading show. We look at charts, we identify buy zones and blah, blah, blah with like, fibs and et cetera, et cetera. I understand that. But, at a certain point, like erase the chart out of your mind. Erase the chart out of your mind real quick and just like value things. It's at 2 million market cap. They're in connection. They're in talks with the Robinhood team. I mean, could you like go for like a crazy, specific surgical entry? For sure. But at 50 mil market cap, would it really make a difference if you bought at 1.7 mil versus 2 mil? Right? Like, I mean, maybe it makes a difference if you bought between 1 mil or 2 mil, but are you going to risk not getting the 25x to try to chase a 50x? Like, you know what I mean? Like at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, is it all about the charts? Because it's not about the charts anymore at a certain point. Sometimes you just got to erase the chart out of your mind and just buy based on value. How is the market valuing this chart? How is the market valuing this chart? And then, where can this chart go based on that framework? And you can either use the chart for a technical entry, or you can just say, keep it simple and say, oh, wow, I think this can go to 10 mil. It's at 2 mil right now. That's a 5x, and make this your DCA 1, right? Maybe split your bag in two, make this your DCA 1, and then make this your DCA 2. And watch me bottom tick this. Watch me bottom tick that with the second circle. But yeah. So that's the look there on net. I think that's actually insane though. Chijaka has done a lot of content on net. So I want to real quick just take a look at some of his stuff, because I didn't realize that Net's treasury grew 25K in 12 hours of the new game being live. Now
what's the games? What are the games? Are these
that's what I'm trying to find out. So it looks like they have a no loss lottery, an RWA gotcha, a game with a 20K prize, and 50K of real world bonds. So it looks like they have like several things lined up. Let me see. Wow. 450,000 now sits in their treasury. So obviously their treasury is growing. Whatever they're doing, their treasury is growing. Looks like they also had a nice little write-up here. Let me ask Grok for the quick summary. Tokenized stocks used functionally as material for games and products rather than held passively. Every prior cycle rewarded builders who arrived early and made the new primitive do something new. We shipped Superstore gotcha boxes, Climb Corporate RPG, win net draws, and real world bonds where real equities flow through play. All products buy net on open market, remit fees, and sweep assets into the shared reserve portfolio. We are the house hosting the activity, wired so every ticket strengthens the fund. Interesting. I didn't realize. Wow. Like, dude, I didn't realize this was all happening with net. I'm actually quite impressed. I'm actually quite impressed. Not gonna lie. This net is they have a growing treasury. They're doing something brand new in terms of utilizing your tokenized stocks to play in some of these on-chain games. And then they also have a flywheel with their token, as far as buybacks and burns are concerned. And with, I think he mentioned 30,000% APR or something like that is crazy. So obviously there's going to be people staking to earn that, right? And so that's also going to cause supply on circulating supply to go down. So between buybacks, staking, you have a deflationary setup. You have the tailwind with volume on
Dude, go to their
Robinhood.
website. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's check out their website real quick. Go to their website, appnetnet.capital. Let's see. Wow, dividend yield is 13,500 every freaking 8 hours. What are we even talking about right now? And one net costs you $96. Very interesting.
Look at
very
click
interesting.
the banner there.
Banner.
I literally have no idea what I'm looking at, but it looks sick.
Yeah. Let's see real quick. Bond Dash Loopback Manifesto. All right, here's the manifesto. Robinhood is bringing the most owned assets in the world on chain. Equities that spent a century behind brokerage walls and market hours now settle on open rails around the clock. A market like that deserves a native reserve asset, a share that is always backed, always priced against a published portfolio, and always accumulating more of the real world underneath it. Net is our answer. Net capital management exists to manage it like a fund in public permanently. Net is a reserve share. Every share is backed by at least one USDG in the fund's on-chain reserve portfolio. Wow. Okay. The portfolio earns yield rather than sitting idle, and the fund's mandate is to diversify those reserves over time into productive, tokenized real-world assets. The long-term objective is plain: an RWA-backed reserve currency run by machinery instead of committees on the chain where the real world is arriving. Let's blow this up for you guys. My bad.
Says the circulating market cap is actually 540K with FDV at 3.4.
Ooh, are you serious?
Yeah, if you go to the quarterly report,
I might just smash the buy. Hold on real quick. So the utility, WinNet, Superstore, Loopback, Real World Bond. So these are the games. Every use buys net or pays the 5% levy. That goes to the treasury and the RWA sleeve accumulates. NAV backing per share rises structurally. Dividends, distributions, distributions compound and draw shareholders. Every net product is a different storefront with the same back office. When a player enters any of the games, the entry buys net on the open market and stakes it. Oh, wow. They stake it. So the rewards, a ton of the rewards is flowing right back into the net ecosystem. So it's not even like, a ton of people are staking this for yield and then running off with the yield. It's being staked and it's coming back into the value loop for the token. Okay, that's really awesome. When a shopper opens a superstore box, part of the price is routed into reserves and equities. When a borrower loops at the credit desk, a levy is remitted. None of the flows ask anyone to believe in the token. They happen because someone wanted the product. Okay, the wheel is turned by utility, not by emissions, and every turn leaves. So this is like a very sustainable ohm fork, like the type of mechanics. Not saying that this itself is an ohm fork, but the mechanics remind like the high APY. The only thing that's different is they're able to back the token by means of USDG. Like net is a reserve share. Every share is backed by USDG, a stable coin. So that's insane. They're backing they're using all of the volume and everything that they're generating via their games. Like these different games, they're using that and putting that right back into backing for the protocol, which I feel like is absolutely huge.
The net treasury is now the number 3 holder of SpaceX on all of Robinhood chain out of 29,000 holders. It is
Jeez.
also the number 5 holder of Apple, the number 6 holder of Google, and the number 9 holder of Nvidia.
Is that a tweet? Can you send me that?
Yeah. This came out yesterday or 2 days ago. All right.
Wow.
Again, guys, we've been offline this week. I mean, I had a busy weekend. Chill has been busy.
If I
So
can be
we're-
honest with you guys,
we're
I've
catching up.
I've been, in and out of the hospital with my family. So not gonna get into like specifics or anything, but it's just been I had to go offline, you know what I mean? Family's first. Trading will always be there. So just had to make sure everything was cool. Everything's fine, like nothing too crazy, nothing too serious. But there was that. So I had to kind of step away for a second. So I'm like coming back now and seeing that there's a ton that has happened. Shari, Discord link is broken. Can we get the Discord link off of the YouTube?
It's
I think
shouldn't be
people
on.
are
Shouldn't be active. Shari, the Discord link is broken because we don't let everyone in. You have to be active in the chat and then
Yep.
DM the MCG account and we'll give it to you.
just show up in chat for a few months, few months.
Yeah, honestly, a week. If you're active all week in chat,
No. I'm not even gonna put a time on it. Not even gonna put a time on it. If you are active in chat, period. Like there are a lot of people in here that like we reckon, like we know who you are. Like we know who you are. We know who we see all the time. Like I know that I see Crypto Jones all the time. I know that I see Pepe all the time. You know what I mean? I know I see Top Fumbler all the time. I know G Money level 100 is like a first time commenter that I've seen from the YouTube side.
Yo, G Money, do we have you in Discord?
Maybe he watches, maybe he's watched on X or something like that before, but we're pretty tapped in with our viewers. You know what I mean? Like we have 1,000 people watching us right now, but not everyone is in the chat. Not everyone is commenting and contributing to the stream. Like a lot of people, which is fine. Cool. Like if you just want to, you want to just, kind of lurk in the background and get the alpha, like absolutely, like this is what we're here for. But for the people that are actually like contributing, asking questions in the chat, like researching with us, like that's who we want in the Discord. So yeah, as long as we see that you're active for a time, you're someone that we recognize in the chat. That's who we have. If you're a regular viewer of the stream, you would be in the Discord because for the last for May, June, and July, we were banging the table telling everybody to come watch, come join the stream, come join the stream, come join the stream. So yeah, but it's all good. Just keep tuning in. We'll get you in there.
Yeah, hey, Amp's been great on the repost.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw you reposted earlier, Amp.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you.
Amp, are you in Discord? This was actually
not yet being the operative word though.
Rodney, this was actually does anyone know this?
I think this is an Anon team. I think so. Here's the thing on EVM, it's different, man. EVM is core crypto ethos, right? Like people who value privacy and all these other things. Like go back to the Squeeze Dev. Squeeze Dev is cracked, man. Been in the space for years and stuff like that. Has a huge, nice reputation. But he obviously values his privacy. Like, look at me. You know what I mean? Like, I obviously value my privacy as well. So yeah, I'm not gonna knock anybody, but yet being the operative word, you got it, Amp. You absolutely got it. Making your way, brother. Making your way, earning your stripes, as some people would say. But going back to net here, no, we don't know who the team is. We don't know like what their background is or anything like that. Yes, Rodney, I believe the circulating market cap is much lower than what we're seeing on Dex Screener. So I think that's a massive bid in my opinion. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't realize it was that. I should have guessed, But let's look at the quarterly report real quick. Yeah, circulating market cap is 544K. Oh my God, are you serious? They got a 360K treasury. Most of it is deployed for yield. They got cash reserves in USDG. They have a ton of whoa, wait a second. Wait a second. Josh, are you looking at this? Their RWA holdings is almost 500K. Is that for real?
I see this.
So am I understanding this correctly by saying that, okay, they have a 361 treasury, but in terms of their strategic reserve, they have almost 500K. So in other words, they have like almost $800,000 in terms of like assets under management. No?
So
They
okay. Cash reserves, yield deployment, net of 2% haircut, protocol owned liquidity. So okay, we got those. That's 360, and then these are individual stocks. Yeah, so 27K of. Okay, no. That's a reserve plus RWA reserve. If you look at the.
Oh shoot. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad, guys.
That's total. That's net.
I didn't read I didn't read that. I just looked at the bottom line. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So
But
where's
still,
the
that's-
emissions come from then? So if there's only it's circulating, where are the other tokens? Is there any tokenomics here?
Let's see. Shareholder services.
Man, I love this website. Like I X'd out something. I don't know how to get it back on my net.
I'm trying to.
Oh, thanks, Amp. Appreciate that.
Loop back.
Is this like another stockbrokers, but little more early?
Nah, I wouldn't describe because this doesn't have any like NFTs or anything like that. Like stockbrokers is much different. Stockbrokers is not much no, it is much different. It is much different. I'm just trying to find out where is this APY coming from. That's really where I'm trying to figure out here. If anyone can help me answer that would be awesome.
I'm gonna look in the
All right.
timeline.
Here's their docs. Let's go into the docs real quick. The fund, rewards, APY.
Trader Pow was talking about this.
Let's see. The reserve cap. The distributor cannot mint past reserves. Every net is at all times backed by at least one USDG of risk-free value. Dividends are therefore self-limiting. Emissions can never issue a share. The treasury cannot stand behind at the $1 at the 1 USDG floor. What the heck? All right, let's do this. Let's ask Grok, shall we? Let's cheat code this real quick. Where does the APY come from? Bang. Let's see what Grok has to say, because I'm not seeing it anywhere. Not seeing it anywhere. Maybe I just need to read a little bit more, but just for the sake of getting her done. Let's see here. All right. Here's what Grok has to say. The APY on net comes from the shareholder dividend program, staking rebasing, not from external real world yield paid out to holders. Shareholders stake net and receive SNet, a rebasing token, every 8-hour epoch. The protocol mints new net according to a fixed algorithmic formula and rebases SNet balances. So stakers holdings grow proportionally. How the rate is calculated, it's not, I don't really need to get into that. What actually supports the value growth separately, the treasury can grow NAV over time through yield on up to 70% of idle USDG deployed, trading fees, buybacks, and okay. And then so this is also sustainable because at the end of the day, or at least it's leaning towards more sustainability, because it's not just like you getting paid out straight up emissions of the token. They can sustain those emissions because remember, they buy back net and they stake it. It's not that they just buy back and burn. They actually stake a portion of that, I believe. From I don't know how much is burned versus staked, but maybe I can ask, does buying and staking, does the protocol buying and staking net help make this more sustainable? Let's see what Grok says real quick. I just want to hover on this real quick. I think this is because this is bigger than what I realized. I can't even lie to you guys. This is much, much bigger than what I realized. All right, let's see what Grok has to say. No, the protocol does not buy net and then stake it. It buys under specific conditions and burns it. No, that's not true. Yeah, no. When a player enters WinNet, the entry buys net on open market and stakes it straight from their website. So let's just see what Grok says. What the protocol actually does with net. Anyone can sell net to the protocol at a standing bid of roughly NAV. The protocol pays out from liquid USDG reserves and burns every net it receives. This is strictly accretive to NAV. Capacity is limited per epoch. It has been live since day one and acts as a soft floor defense. At launch, a portion of the raise seated at net USDG Uniswap V2 pool that the treasury owns permanently. The net leg, this provides permanent liquidity depth that cannot be withdrawn. Premium sales. Okay. Okay, so oh man, that's a lot to read and look into. Okay. So I'll look into that. I'll look into that here a little bit later, but I think net is definitely worth paying attention to, especially at 550K 550K market cap. At a certain point, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna just buy this, get risk free at 2x, and just call it a day, man. Just freaking call it a day.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything specific on the team or anything like that. But we'll find out potentially this week if you're on the show. So
for sure. All right. So let's see here. I think that's it for today, guys. I mean, we've been streaming here for like 3 hours and 15 minutes. We went through like pretty much all the relevant charts. Not gonna lie. Looks freaking strong here. But okay. I think that's it. Boys, ladies and gentlemen, we are good to go. We have the rest of the week coming up. Let us know. Give us some feedback on the schedule. And Josh, maybe we make that a tweet. Yeah, maybe we just make that a tweet that we put out.
Just let everyone know.
Yeah. Hey,
All
we
right.
might not. Yeah, we might not be posting the schedule. How you guys feel about that?
Probably
Dude,
people not be super
Prism
happy. I
is
don't know.
ripping.
Oh, I know.
Prism is ripping,
I
bro.
was
Holy
thinking about
crap.
this, that sub mill. But I
Yeah,
got
actually this
dusted a little bit on the original Prism, I'm not gonna lie. It's
yeah,
kind
I
of
hear
like
you.
PTSD.
I hear you on that.
All right, guys.
All right. So I think that's it for today, guys. We're going to update you guys on schedule, but as you guys know, go to @MCG Live on Twitter. Make sure you're hitting like and follow, keeping up with all things MCG. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, interviewing the latest and greatest things happening on chain, whether that's a founder building a protocol, a narrative starting to form, an ecosystem being birthed into the space, whatever it is, we're all over it. Follow us at MCG Live. As you can see, we're at 13.8K followers. This was at 10,000 not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago. And this was so we've been growing exceptionally well. So go ahead and go to our page. We'll we'll and stay up to date with what's going on at MCG. Be in the chat, be active. If you do so regularly, you'll be admitted into the Discord as well. But we got a lot to do. I got a lot of trading and content to get through. So I'll see you guys later. See you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you showing up. Also, check out MetaDAO, $45 million raised on their platform. We'll see y'all tomorrow. GG's.